So you quadruple the number of people that are here now. You have
Saturday night, getting ready for the big matchup, the first ever game at Abbott Memorial Stadium under the lights. And I know you can't wait, and neither can we. I'm Charles McNeil. So glad that you joined us. Mark Lassiter and Charles Ward are in the booth. They're getting their game faces on, and they'll be ready to bring you constant coverage of a big matchup that means so much to so many. I'll tell you what, as you can tell, I'm not in Tuskegee tonight. I wish I could be. It's my birthday, and my family is whisked me away to Hawaii. As you can see, Hawaii is in splendor and looking fantastic. We've had our great time here since Sunday's game with the Red Tails Classic and the victory over Winston-Salem State. We've actually been on Holy Ghost hangover since coming into the area. So you can only imagine that this game, again, tonight means as much as my birthday means to my family. And we got to get another W to start off the season 2-0. And the opponent, Central State, has not had a great deal of success against the Golden Tigers in recent memory. So let's go ahead and get you ready and all set for this historic game and bring in the president of Tuskegee University, Mark Brown, to set the stage for us.
All of the lights.
Y'all to see this. Turn up the lights in here, baby. You know what I need. Want you to see everything. Want you to see everything.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mark Brown, President and CEO of Tuskegee University, and welcome to the first night game in a 144-year history of Tuskegee University. Welcome also to Central State University as you help us open the 2025 season. You know, we got to say thank you to all of the philanthropic gifts, the alumni, and Alabama Power for making this all possible. Enjoy yourself tonight. Enjoy the first game and be careful going home as the shuttles will take you back to your spots and to your parking spaces. And finally, to our friends from Central State, as you make your way back to Ohio, remember this all began in friendship, and we're still your friends, but on the field are the fields of strife, and we look forward to winning tonight. Welcome, Golden Tigers, and welcome to the 2025 season.
C-SPY is a prestigious scholarship, a world-class leadership training program, and a ticket to a rewarding career as an officer in the United States Coast Guard. C-SPY is an opportunity for students attending minority-serving institutions that goes beyond paying for 2 years of tuition and other college expenses. Once accepted, you'll be a member of the Coast Guard, earning a full-time salary, plus medical benefits and a housing allowance. While continuing your full-time studies, you'll get to learn about life in the Coast Guard firsthand. You'll quickly find that the Coast Guard is unique from the other military branches. It's a different kind of service, with crews of like-minded people who perform life-saving missions every day and protect our environment and communities. If you're ready to step up as a leader and help us make the world a better place, then visit gocoastguard.com/CSPI to learn more or talk to a recruiter.
Thank you so much. Welcome back. This is The Standard. Certainly looking forward to you guys being a part of it. And I'll tell you what, 1-0 is a great way to begin the year. SIAC opener tonight under the lights. It is going to be fantastic. everyone's looking forward to seeing and finding out how we do in this first ever historic game. So let's go under the lights.
This weekend versus Central State, I know they're going to come in trying to play us tough, and I just got to get my team prepared for it. And we always battle with Central State. They always come in scrappy. They got some good guys over there. You got a new coach this year. This is his first year. And I just got to make sure that our guys are prepared. And we went back this past weekend and just cleaned up a lot of stuff, went back to the drawing boards and went back to the basics. So we're going to come out this weekend ready to play some ball. And like I say, Central State, they're going to be coming in ready to get their first win as well. But we just got to make sure that we are doing our parts on all three phases of the game, special teams, offense, and defense. So looking forward to it. Just talking about a little recap from Winston-Salem. Came out in the first half, sputtered a little bit offensively, had too many drop balls. Winston-Salem came out with a game plan, and they played us tough. Coach Massey had those guys playing good ball, good solid, football all 4 quarters. And we came in and made some adjustments at the second half, and Bill got under control. We was able to go ahead and actually get our running game going, and that really calmed everything down. And we had time of possession in the second half as well to keep their offense off the field and keep their defense on. And I think at times they got tired a little bit on the defensive side, and we was able to capitalize off of that. So all in all, we needed that game on our belt, and for us to come in off a long summer and then a fall camp, and then just making sure that we see everything that our team needs, and just moving forward to this upcoming game. This weekend versus Central State is coming up September the 6th, playing under the lights. It's a historic moment, and the fans and alumni, they're excited about it, and the program as well. Our team is excited about it for us being the first time playing under the lights here at Tuskegee University. Hopefully it's going to be a sold-out crowd, and just the atmosphere alone is just going to be give us the upper hand and the momentum on our side once we touch the field. So just me being here and playing here back in the days, I mean, it's like I said, it's the first time, and for me to come back and to take this program and lead this program, and to be able to be a part of this historic moment is second to none. This weekend is going to give me a lot of goosebumps at the beginning of the game, and once that settled down, and hopefully the players have the same feeling once they come out of that tunnel, and just make sure that everything is I guess ready to roll at coin toss and at the kickoff. So like I say, overall, everybody excited about this weekend, and we're ready to play lights out.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate that, and I know that you guys are pumped up about it. Inside the locker room, they are fired up as well, because they know the importance of this game. It will make a part of history here at Tuskegee.
This is going to be great. The first night game is going to be great, because when I got here, I was told we would never have lights and stuff like that. When I got here, the field wasn't even here. We were playing at the Crampton Bowl, but now it's going to be a show.
This one should be a good one, as Tuskegee off to a 1-0 start, looking to go undefeated in the SIAC through week number 2. Central State in search of their first victory of the season. They'll have to do it by way of their rushing department, as their rushing game has been proficient. On the passing side, it's TU 154 to 118. No matchup there. Head to head, it has been dominant for the Golden Tigers, 10-1 in record. Turnovers, and this is regular season in 2025. 1 turnover, but a victory for TU. No turnovers, but the Marauders lost their opening contest. And then the last meeting up there in Ohio, it was all TU all the time. Early and often, they won it with ease by 16 points. Thanks, fellas. I know you're going to play extremely well tonight, and hopefully get yourself some SIAC conference honors next week. Let's check out this week's Players of the Week. Law Mortimer getting it done for Edward Waters, and Weich for Albany State making it happen on the defensive and the offensive side of the football. Let's start on the offensive side. The Golden Rams running back, just a sophomore, making it happen, 137 yards and 2 touchdowns in their ground attack. As for Law Mortimer, oh my goodness. He had a scoop and a score, 54 yards. He took him to the house and to tie the game up at 14 in their contest. And then 2 more players for the same schools representing the newcomer of the week and the special teams player of the week. Those are your dominant players in the SIAC in week 0.
What do you see? Some may only see a field, but we see lighting that will allow night games for the first time in Tuskegee University's history. Some see a student leaving the library, but we see a safer campus for the nation's top engineering students. Some see a dorm room. We see cooler, cleaner air. Some see a classroom, but we see the next generation of resilient leaders. Often, what's most essential is most invisible. That's why we're innovating to ensure that all of Alabama becomes more energy efficient. Because when our universities thrive, we all thrive.
C-SPY is a prestigious scholarship, a world-class leadership training program, and a ticket to a rewarding career as an officer in the United States Coast Guard. C-SPY is an opportunity for students attending minority-serving institutions that goes beyond paying for 2 years of tuition and other college expenses. Once accepted, you'll be a member of the Coast Guard, earning a full-time salary, plus medical benefits, and a housing allowance. While continuing your full-time studies, you'll get to learn about life in the Coast Guard firsthand. You'll quickly find that the Coast Guard is unique from the other military branches. It's a different kind of service, with crews of like-minded people who perform life-saving missions every day and protect our environment and communities. If you're ready to step up as a leader and help us make the world a better place, then visit gocoastguard.com/CSPI to learn more or talk to a recruiter.
Before we prepare you for the next chapter, which is the big game tonight, let's introduce you to the newest members of the volleyball team at Tuskegee University. They're getting set for their first matchup, the first game of the season, the first match of the season will happen Monday on GTSN at 6 p.m. Central as they'll take on Stillman College.
Hi, my name is Limbry Lawrence.
What's up? My name is Demaya Tate.
Hi, my name is Sani.
Hi, everyone. My name is Najwa, or you can call me Love.
My name is Jasmine Brownlee.
Hi, my name is Micah Floyd.
Hi, guys. My name is Jamia Chapel.
Hello, my name is Brianna Sanders.
Hey, y'all. My name is Zariah Messi.
Major at Tuskegee University is Animal and Veterinary Science.
Majoring in Business Administration with a concentration in Management.
My major is Mass Communications.
I'm going in as a liberal arts major, and I'm also a Spanish minor.
And I'm majoring in Hospitality Management. I'm a freshman mechanical engineering major.
I'm majoring in nursing.
I am majoring in nursing.
I'm majoring in biology.
My position is an outside/right side.
A pin hitter and middle.
My position is setter.
My position is outside hitter.
I am a DS libero.
My position is a lid and a DS.
Middle blocker.
I'm a right side hitter.
I play outside hitter.
My mom took me to a collegiate volleyball game in my hometown, and I saw it and I was like, wow, I really want to play this sport. It looks amazing. So after years of club and everything like that, I got here and I'm so excited.
And I actually started playing volleyball because of my older sister.
Playing volleyball would be my older sister. I just always watched her growing up and I just fell in love with volleyball pretty much from that.
My inspiration was my sisters. Like growing up, I used to watch them play sports, and that kind of inspired me to play volleyball and continue to play in the sport.
Started playing volleyball in the 3rd grade.
Volleyball was just my desire to play a sport, and all my cousins played it, so I just decided to play it too.
I played volleyball at a young age because I sucked at basketball, and basically my parents told me I was too tall to not be playing a sport, so I started volleyball, and I eventually fell in love with it.
I started playing volleyball because my neighbor was on the middle school team, and we used to pepper in the front yard.
I played volleyball when I was in 4th grade, and I tried a lot of sports before then. and I found volleyball and I really, really enjoyed it. So here I am today.
His pet peeve is bad sportsmanship. Like, I'm not a big fan of that.
It's probably knee socks.
Black knee pads. I don't really like black knee pads. Or if somebody says spike instead of hit.
People like get upset or something and they like ball up their fists like when they're like going and give you a high five, or like they smack your hand like super hard. Like, I just don't get it. I was not the one who shanked that ball. So
Peeve would be either ankle socks or when you get a good dig and the ball drops after. It hurts my soul.
If maybe black knee pads.
It's just poor sportsmanship, like especially at the end of the game, like if a team lost or something and they don't want to shake hands and they're going to be rude and snotty about it. Like, that's one of my biggest pet peeves, because like we're just here to have fun.
It would be if I notice something on the court and I communicate that and my teammates dismiss it.
Either taking off all my jewelry before games because I have a lot, so it takes a long time.
Pomaikai Golden Tigers. Yes, your volleyball team picked to finish 5th. I know you're going to do a lot better than that. We're excited to see how far you guys can go. Of course, the first match comes up on Monday, 6 p.m. Central, right here on the Golden Tiger Sports Network against Stillman. Pomaikai means blessings and good fortune in the upcoming season.
What do you see? Some may only see a field, but we see lighting that will allow night games for the first time in Tuskegee University's history. Some see a student leaving the library, but we see a safer campus for the nation's top engineering students. Some see a dorm room. We see cooler, cleaner air. Some see a classroom, but we see the next generation of resilient leaders. Often, what's most essential is most invisible. That's why we're innovating to ensure that all of Alabama becomes more energy efficient. Because when our universities thrive, we all thrive.
And it's about time to put a wrap on this edition of TU Game Day Live, presented by the U.S. Coast Guard. So happy to have had you guys along for the ride. We've got a lava field behind me. There's lava in my hand as well. It's not hot, so we're okay on that end. But we know that you guys are ready for game time. And Charles Ward, Mark Lassiter will have an exciting call of our first game under the lights. As we prepare to leave, we've got to thank our Alumni Association for all your hard work with the watch party videos, the score predictions, and your trivia answers. Make sure you always send those to the Golden Tiger Athletics site. Of course, you know what that email address is. It's been sent to you each and every Thursday. All your answers go there. That way we can tabulate them and have your results coming up after our third game of the season. So as we close things out, it's time for us to go inside of TU's vault. We grabbed this from the top shelf of the vault. It's last year's game versus the Marauders. Reggie Brigman got the scoring started early.
They bunch in, reverse play, they give it to Brigman. Brigman turns the corner, he's in for the Golden Tigers.
And Quavon Beckford galloped his way to the house. Here's how it sounded on the Golden Tiger Sports Network.
We go inside of almost at 9:01 left now on a reverse. This is Beckford looking for a block upfield. He got one. Second wave by Beckford at the 30. One man to beat. Forget about it. Beckford, touchdown, Tuskegee.
So that's it for this edition of TU Game Day Live, presented by the U.S. Coast Guard. Hope you enjoyed the sights and sounds of the Big Island. As you can see, gorgeous sights and certainly a lot of sounds from the ocean. But we look forward to you guys being a part of the big event, which is coming up next. Our good friends will be taking you all the way home. That's Mark Lassiter and Charles Ward. They've got the play-by-play coverage, and they'll have the halftime report. I'll be back with you next week as we take on Jackson State. So for all of us working hard for you, thank you for tuning in to TU Game Day Live. Go Tuskegee!
Hey, Golden Tiger fans. Arthur A.J. Woodson here, class of 2010, current president for the New York Tuskegee Alumni Association, encouraging all other alumni chapters to sign up for this year's Golden Tiger Sports Network Alumni Chapter Challenge, grand prize being a deluxe tailgate experience being held at this year's homecoming. Sign your chapters up now so that you can be a part of the weekly score predictions, trivia during the game, and even have a live check-in during the game on the GTSN if your chapter is hosting a watch party. So sign up and be a part of this year's Alumni Chapter Challenge.
I grew up coming out to this land. There's just something special about it. I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's really important to me.
Hello, Tuskegee Nation. I'm Dr. Mark Brown, President and CEO of Tuskegee University. This is our First Lady, Miss Gwendolyn Jackson Brown. We are so excited about the Golden Tiger Sports Network and this year's season. TU, you know.
Even the weather gods agree that they love the university because we've had rain here for quite a while, but everything's just about to clear out. Means we're ready for Golden Tigers football on the Golden Tigers Sports Network. Glad you could join us for our coverage here from Tuskegee, Alabama. Charles Ward, Mark Lassiter with the call. And this is a very big day for Tuskegee football.
A very big day for Tuskegee football. And in the words of Ray Charles, a nighttime, right time to turn on the lights here at Abbott Memorial Stadium for the first time in the history of Tuskegee University. What was predicted to be an 87-degree night has cooled down to about 75 degrees here. A very comfortable night for football.
And indeed we do, as they celebrate the first football game starting here at night at Tuskegee University. Still a lot left here, but when the gives in tonight and the lights shine brightly here in Tuskegee, it's going to be a celebration for everybody, the administration, athletics department, and the alums across the country and the world.
And speaking of the athletics department, the fact that Tuskegee has this freshly installed artificial turf will help disperse any moisture that may have settled. We had rain showers that started about an hour and a half before kickoff, so the field is extremely playable, and I expect to have a wide open game tonight.
Yeah, I had a chance to just talk to several people on the campus throughout the week. They are treating this ball game as if it were the homecoming of this season. Have one scheduled November late season, but that's how they're treated. Just know how important this is for Tuskegee, not only in terms of this game itself, but what it means to the program overall to be able to have the lights now, what that means in terms of scheduling and anything else as a department.
And to your point, Charles, an hour and a half before kickoff, the shed and the surrounding sections of the shed were packed. The home side, very good crowd on the hillside, so it has a homecoming feel to it this evening for an early season opener.
Indeed, it is a home season opener for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee, winners of the Red Tails last weekend, so they bring a lot of momentum into this ball game against the Marauders of Central State.
Tuskegee would like nothing better than to build on the momentum they built last week, especially on offense in the second half, where they seemed to get more in a rhythm, pulled out that clutch win against Winston-Salem State, which is actually a very good CIAA squad. Winston-Salem State has its own dreams of being dominant in that conference. So Tuskegee off to a quick start. Hope to continue this evening.
The win last weekend gave them 5 wins in a row dating back to 2024. They meet a team in the Marauders of Central State actually in the opposite direction. They have lost their last 5 in a row, so they come in here hungry. But Tuskegee wanting just to steal the thunder and recognizing that this is their night under the lights.
Well, if anything, Central State does not want to pay attention to the record. They've never won here at Tuskegee. So Tuskegee feeling very comfortable on their home turf.
In fact, they played last year up at McPherson Stadium at Central State. Tuskegee winning that ball game on the road 30-14. They come in with a 10-win to 1-loss advantage against the Marauders. So not overlooking this team, but Tuskegee hoping that this is going to just be part of the festivities of the night as they bring out the lights.
And speaking of the festivities, there was a threat of thunderstorms in the area, but so far the skies seem to have cleared out. Central State has taken the field on the near sideline, and Tuskegee is poised in the far corner of the end zone, ready to take the field to the welcome applause of the shed and the home crowd here.
Tuskegee at 1-0 on the season. As head coach Aaron James, he's in his third campaign. They'll meet the Marauders of Central State. Central State coached by Tony Carter. This is his first campaign for the Marauders of Central State, and they're looking for his first win of the season. But as we reflect back on that ball game weekend against Winston-Salem over in Montgomery, Tuskegee, as you reference, half strong. Raekwon Beal at quarterback, notably strong in that second half as well.
Coach Aaron James of Tuskegee knew in the first half they had some things to correct with some thrown balls that he's placed at the hands of the receivers, not making some catches in the pick the key yardage. Tuskegee could have easily come away with 20 points in that first half. They made some corrections in the second half. What was most important, they came away with the win. So I'm sure that Coach James has had a serious talk with his receivers in the off week about making catches in the clutch or in traffic.
Got some comments from Coach James in the pregame by our Charles McNeil. Charles doing some heavy lift on the island of Hawaii, hosting our pregame show on his birthday nonetheless. So we wish him a happy birthday, and Charles really setting the tone for our contest this afternoon. And part of that conversation with Coach James and the exact points that you're making is that they just kind of came into that ball game lackluster first half, but they had a real good adjustment at halftime by both coordinators, defensive coordinator Osei Williams and offensive coordinator Harry Williams. They really got them on track.
You got to feel that Tuskegee's going to pick up on the energy of the home crowd and want to get off to a fast start, especially on offense.
Fans still falling in here at Abbott Alumni Memorial Stadium. Toss is being at midfield. Got some honorary captains out there for this special occasion here at Tuskegee University as they celebrate a dearth of lighting here. That has changed here tonight as they host the Marauders of Central State.
What you notice, Charles, even when the sun was setting, it was a little bit dark, but once they turned the lights on, you could tell the difference that it made in this stadium. And I'm sure that the Tuskegee home crowd will embrace the fact of being able to start games when it's a little bit cooler. Especially this time of year in Alabama.
Sure. And we were talking about it yesterday when we were looking at the schedule for the remainder of the season. You would think that that was a big factor in terms of why the lights are so important. But most of the games at home for Tuskegee for the rest of the season scheduled 2 o'clock afternoon. Of course, it's a little cooler this time of year in September versus the August portion of it. But Tuskegee setting to go under the lights for the first time here at Memorial Stadium. The Marauders of Central State, they will kick it away, and that means Tuskegee will have first crack at it on the offense. And the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee compiling 240 yards last weekend in their win over the Rams of Winston-Salem.
Central State in the mustard yellow tops, maroon pants, white socks. Tuskegee black top to bottom, red numerals with white outlines, and the traditional Tuskegee helmets.
Cooper will be back deep. He'll be joined by Jaquil Rouser to return the kick. Kicking for the Marauders of Central State will be Jaden Edwards, the freshman. And Edwards set the kick, and we are underway here under the lights at Tuskegee. Over the shoulder catch there by Rouser. Rouser works his way near the 20-yard line, but gang tackled there by the Marauders of Central State, and that's where Tuskegee will have his first possession of the football game. Tuskegee on this Saturday night dressed in black trunks and jerseys, crimson numerals, crimson helmets, crimson slacks, stripes down the side, numerals and crimson outlined in white. For the Marauders of Central State, crimson pants in that light yellow jersey and helmets in that off purple, if you will, color for the Marauders of Central State. Tuskegee going left to right here, first quarter of play. And Jaquan Bill and the Golden Tigers come to the line of scrimmage, showing that we saw that last weekend, Mark, that first possession, the set they show was that flush offense with spread receivers either side.
3 receivers to the left, 2 to the near side. Raquan Beal showing pass on this first down call.
Beal threw 450 yards in last weekend's win over Winston-Salem. Play set to resume. 4 up front for the Marauders. Bill with the snap. He's going straight up top. In the pocket, floats one, got a man down the sideline. Catch made at the 45-yard line, other end of the football field. That's Ian Nation coming in again. Nation with a good performance last weekend. His first grab here takes it past midfield and inside of Marauder territory.
Nothing fancy. Nation just hits the Jets at about the 50-yard line. Makes a nice over-the-shoulder catch. 5 yards after the catch, Tuskegee with a first down.
Golden Tigers trying to make an early statement that this might be an aerial affair here at Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium. First possession pass puts them at the 45 of Central State. Trips at the top of the screen now for Bill. They'll keep it on the ground. Johnny Mars bangs ahead right inside the gut of that Marauders defense. Got it down to the 42-yard line before Central State catches up with him.
If there is any factor that Tuskegee wants to correct from last week, is that 15 yards rushing that they had at the halftime break. They want to run the football. Excellent field position to start this drive, especially off that long completion. So their playbook should be wide open at this point.
Johnny Morris, a senior on that first carry for him from scrimmage, had 41 yards in the ball game last weekend against Winston-Salem. That'll make it 2nd down and 7 after a run by Morris. In motion, they send Wilson. Now they go up the middle, right side again. Johnny with the carry again for Tuskegee, closer to the 40-yard line. Pickup of 3 on that. That'll make it 3rd down now and 5 for the Golden Tigers on their first possession.
First player on the spot for Central State was Kenyon Smith, a name we may hear a lot this evening. Defensive lineman is one of the leaders on their front wall.
3rd down play here for Tuskegee. Golden Tigers 6 of 14 3rd down efforts last weekend, 43%. Bill with the snap, looks to his left, across the middle, fires it there. Catch going to be made there. That's enough for the first down. Catching that football and turning upfield is Devin Cooper past the sticks, and Tuskegee gets a fresh set of downs as a result.
If there is one word to describe what Beal is at its best, it's decisiveness. That time made the 3-step drop, found the open receiver, made the completion.
1st and 10 now from the 35 of Central State. Tuskegee on its first drive of the football game. 12:35 remaining in this first quarter. Rains have stopped here in Tuskegee. As Bill going up top of one again, checks it off, down low, got E.J. Hall. Hall with the catch, lost the football at the 22. I think they're going to rule it down there. So Hall with the catch, and he's close to the first down marker after he turns that route off at the 22, and that'll be enough for the first.
Beal showing excellent poise on this drive. Passes a lot more accurate out of the backfield, even on some of those short wheel routes than they were last weekend.
Hall, the transfer from Troy, and a native of Tuskegee with his first grab of the afternoon. Ball fake again. Pass out in the flats. Catch going to be, that one's in and out. Had to get it out there in the flats, trying to get it to Jermaine Hardy Jr. He had it momentarily, but a good defensive play by the Marauders in the secondary. Trayon Holt able to knock it free.
Holt now sprinting to the sideline and coming off the field.
So first incompletion of the ball game for Bill. That'll make it 2nd and 10. Football at the 25-yard line of Central State. Morris joins Bill in the backfield. Splits either side. Hardy at the top. Down low is E.J. Hall. Central State 4 up front. Ball fake across the middle. Hall crossing route, can't hold on to it. Down near the 10.
Last formation on defense, Central State had 9 players in the box and 5 yards of line of scrimmage, really coming up tight and challenging Beal to throw deeper. than those short routes that he's been known for.
And you made a reference to this in our pregame comments about the rain and then the turf pushing some of that off. But wonder if that one slipping through Hall's hand was a matter of that football being slightly wet. Had some space, just could not pull it in. That'll make it 3rd and 10.
Interesting point that you make. Last week we saw some catchable balls. They weren't necessarily in rhythm, but the receivers have that catch radius within a certain point of their bodies. They need to make those catches, especially in traffic.
That's exactly what Coach Aaron James referenced, the fact that there were a lot of drops in that first half. Beal on a 3rd and 10. Steps up in the pocket, pumps once. Now he has to eat the football, and he's sacked near 28. Covered by that Marauder secondary. Beal with nowhere to throw, and the walls collapsed as Central State got pressure. And Tuskegee not able on 3rd.
Credit that sack to defensive back Anthony Williams, who was roaming deep in coverage, and at the last minute, Beal spotted him cheating to that side of the field, which would have been a tough throw.
Larkin Ryan's on now to try a field goal. This will be a 45-yard effort. Won the game last weekend on a field goal. Got plenty of leg on this one, and Ryan gets the first points of the ball game. 45-yard punch on the field goal by Larkin Ryans. And Tuskegee takes a 3-0 lead over the Marauders of Central State in their first drive of the ball game. Take a break here. Tuskegee with the 3-0 lead. This is Golden Tigers football on the Golden Tigers Sports Network.
Broadcast coverage of Golden Tigers athletics is brought to you by the following. The U.S. Coast Guard, always ready. Booster Digital Displays, dedicated to providing high-quality, affordable LED displays with exceptional service. Alabama Power, for the service of Alabama. TNT Fireworks, celebrating more than 100 years of America's #1 best-selling brand of fireworks. Yellowwood, a better backyard awaits. Home Depot, how doers get more done. Utilities Board of Tuskegee, purpose, progress, people. Coca-Cola, enjoy the moment with a Coca-Cola. Tuskegee Federal Credit Union, serving the people of Tuskegee and the surrounding community since 1938. TLAT Media, step by step, TLAT Media makes your business grow. And by Advertising Solutions, from concept to conversion, we are your advertising solution.
And we're back live here at Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium on the campus of Tuskegee University. Tuskegee on their impressive there, stalled at the 35, but able to get the field goal by Ryans from 45 yards out to take a 3-0 lead over Central State. So this is state ready for Tuskegee here, Mark.
We talked about the offense of Tuskegee. Harry Williams, associate head coach and offensive coordinator in his second season. But on the flip side, on the Central State sideline, their new offensive coordinator, Santonio Holmes, former first-round pick and a Super Bowl MVP, hired in May 2025 as the wide receivers coach. So we'll see if Santonio Holmes has any of his skills rub off on this receivers crew for Central State.
Nice call. That kind of experience level certainly only can have a positive impact. Ryans with the kick, won't be a return here. Larkin drives that one to the base of the end zone, and Central State will come out from their own 25.
Well, to that end, something we talked about on the ride back last week, the influx of former NFL players into the HBCU coaching ranks has really been an interesting thing to watch since the advent of Coach Prime down at Jackson State. Santonio Holmes is just one of many coaches coming back home.
Indeed. Like that. I don't know if you intended that or not. But
That's slip.
That's okay. We won't tell. Now the Marauders of Central State, they're going to go with Jamari Townsend Tyson Hill at quarterback. Hill, most of the minutes in last weekend ball game for the Marauders, but he did not start or wasn't registered to start. He'll fire it toward the sidelines, trying to come back for the football. There's Darian Fletcher, but that one thrown too far behind.
Fletcher had a little bit of trouble gaining his balance as he's turning back for the pass. So it was slightly behind him, got tangled up a bit, but the ball was in the neighborhood, and he was open by about 5 yards.
Yeah, I want to correct myself on that. Hill did start for the Marauders last weekend, but was not slated to. Finished that ball game with 118 yards in the air for Central State. Misses on his first throwing opportunity here. That'll make it 2nd and 10 for the Marauders. They bring a man in motion. They'll ball fake off of him, and up the middle is Hill on the keeper and got it past the 30 up to the 31.
As they did last week, Charles Tuskegee running a 3-man front, but at the last moment, they brought a linebacker up the middle to add to that pressure. Straight up the middle on the quarterback. It looks like it has some gaps up front, but Tuskegee's doing an excellent job of disguising those gaps with linebacker pressure.
Golden Tigers last weekend against Winston-Salem gave up 292 yards. A lot of that in that first half of play, giving up 6.5 yards per carry in that ball game. Want to certainly get that number going south in this contest against the Marauders. 3rd down and 4 for Central State. Hill gets the pressure, tries to elude, still on his feet, now flips it out in the flats, got a man there on a catch. And working down the sideline, banged down near the mid-stripe. It is Latrell Snow. Snow, the senior from Canton, Ohio, just in the right spot, helping its quarterback out, came back to the football and gets rewarded with a first down catch.
You talk about making something out of nothing. It was nothing but traffic around the quarterback. Got that pass off at the last moment. Hill picks up a first down for Central State.
They are at midfield. They go right to left in this first quarter of play with 9 minutes, 38 seconds remaining in it. Tuskegee with a 3-0 lead. 4 up front for the Golden Tigers. Linebackers looking a little antsy, like they want to cheat in on the blitz. They'll keep it on the ground, and the knockdown in his tracks in the backfield. That's Jaden Bossy last weekend. Good performance for the Marauders, but nothing on that first play from scrimmage for him.
Also first-year coordinator on defense for Tuskegee, O.C. Williams, as he did last week. A lot of different looks up front. That time he ran a 4-man front and added a 2-man blitz. Perfectly called for that run play.
They stopped Bossy in his tracks, actually lost 2 on that play. He had 100 yards even in the loss last weekend against Kentucky State. Hill fires, shoots that one too far. Tried a man at the 45, but he was covered there. And the pass high and a flag thrown at the end of that play.
Closest player to that pass was Michael McGuire, the defensive back for Tuskegee, right about the 42-yard line.
Looks like this one may go against Central State. Yeah, that came after the throw downfield. Wait for the indication. They're marking it off against Central State.
They're getting senior Omar Hussein for unnecessary roughness on the offensive line front. So Hussein victimized, bringing up this 2nd and 27 for Central State.
So Tuskegee getting exactly what they want. They got the Marauders backpedaling, hoping that'll turn in good field position after they get the football back. 8:51 left first quarter. Hill will take a snap, shoots it out in the flat. They were trying to screen there at the 30, but the catch incomplete. Nicholas Smith coming back for it, but he didn't get the football.
Smith popped himself in the head because, when he turned back, that was an extremely catchable ball, but might have been peeking upfield to see if there were any Tuskegee defenders in the neighborhood. But as it stands, if Tuskegee handles this next punt, they should again have excellent field position.
And the Marauders will bring on Jaden Edwards, the freshman, to kick it away. Hall stands deep at the 30 for Tuskegee. The Tuskegee native trying to make something happen. Bob-up snap there and having to run with it. Now it's got to Maroon if he can break the contain, but he cannot. Football bounces up in the air. Tuskegee all over that one as it came free, and they'll have the football near the 21-yard line.
Tuskegee got pressure up the middle. The punter fumbled the snap, And it was lights out from there as Tuskegee recovers close to the red zone. Now, this is a point. You've got Beal, 6'5", three-step drop. Go deep. Just take a shot.
Certainly the situation on the field that he should maybe the best time to do that. The snap was low on the punt by the Marauders of Central State. Edwards did everything he could to scoop it off of the turf, and Tuskegee all over him. And TU now just outside the red zone from the 21, looking for their second score of this first period. Bill and Morris in the backfield with 8:35 left first quarter. Tuskegee right to left on your listening device. Got two receivers hauled on at the bottom. They'll go wide to Johnny Morris. Morris spins back to the inside and meets a wall of yellow jerseys in the Marauders of Central State.
Give credit to Matthias Davis of Central State. He did make the tackle, but he brought enough pressure to turn that play back inside, letting his other players clean up.
So that'll go for about a yard pickup. Makes it 2nd down and 11.
Morris had thoughts of trying to get to the corner on the far side, but Davis wasn't hearing it.
Yeah. Johnny with good eyesight as a running back, kind of see things developing, tried to cut back, but as you referenced, nothing there on the inside either. Still 2nd down and 11, Tuskegee. Bill to the sideline, got the play. Now Morris lines up behind him. They'll give it to Morris. He'll try some space right side and wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. That Central State defense surging at the line got into the backfield.
Travis Davis into the backfield in a blur, makes a sure tackle and stops Tuskegee for about a 3-yard loss on that attempted run to the corner.
So that'll push Tuskegee back now to the 23. This becoming an obvious pass situation here now. Thought we might see that on the first possession after the fumble.
To your point, Charles, Central State now has 2 deep safeties just to defend what you exactly pointed out.
Bill in shotgun. Bill, or Hall that is, in motion to his left. They're trying to set something for him. Bill has to check down, and he is sacked near the 35.
There's that man again, Matthias Davis, the defensive lineman, not able to be handled by the front wall of Tuskegee. He had a clear shot at Raekwon Beal as he's spinning to the other side, trying to find an open receiver. Just nothing there.
I thought they were trying to check it down the Hall coming out of that motion to the other side, but he was looking upfield instead, and that pocket collapsed real quickly by the Marauders of Central State.
Like the game last year, from what I remember, this was a very closely contested game until the second half. Don't let the scoreboard fool you on that final. Central State played Tuskegee tough last season.
Had a flag on that play, Mark, and Tuskegee's going to get bailed out there. They got on unsportsmanlike conduct against the Marauders of Central State. So that good defensive effort by them on their last 3 plays from the line of scrimmage gets nullified by the penalty. They're second of this first quarter, and that's a big one. That gives Tuskegee the first down from the 20-yard line.
And if you want one thing that'll make head coach Johnny Cox of Central State angry, that would be it. They get the stop, a penalty that you just don't need in that position.
So fresh set of downs for TU. Bill surveys the sideline. See if they go up top on this one. Splits either side. And they keep it on the ground to Morris. He'll hop in the pocket, back out, tried to find some space, works his way inside the 20 down near the 18-yard line for TU.
We talked about Tuskegee's struggles running the football last week. Up front, Central State is just doing an excellent job of shutting off the gaps in between the tackles. There was nothing for Morris. He tried to bounce that one outside, had thoughts of it first, but the pursuit was excellent.
That'll make it 2nd and 10 from the 20. Slots either side for Bill. Got Hardy up top. Cooper in the slot with him. Hall at the bottom. And in the slot for Tuskegee is Rashawn Wilson. Wilson with the touchdown grab last weekend. Ball fake, this time crossing route across the middle. Catch made there, angling toward that end zone, but down near the 2-yard line. Good second effort there by Jermaine Hardy Jr., the sophomore from Orlando.
That's the type of catch the Tuskegee receivers have been expecting. Excellent throw and catch. Nothing fancy, 3-step drop. Accurate throw. Tuskegee with a 1st and goal.
Hardy with his first catch of the season for Tuskegee. Made his way into the starting lineup by his hard work during the preseason and makes his first grab there. That'll make it 1st and goal to go now for Tuskegee down at the 2. On the ground, Morris bangs his way, bounces off one defender in the end zone. Touchdown for the Golden Tigers.
As they did last week, Tuskegee shows that spread formation, gets the gaps a little bit wider in the interior, run up the middle, scoring the touchdown.
Tuskegee taking advantage of the turnover by Central State on the fumble. They cash it into 6. And Larkin Ryan's on now to try the point after. He's been perfect on the season so far on point after attempts. They got up in the air and got it through. A lot of pressure up there by Central State. Not sure if that snap was partially fumbled a little bit or bobbled, but they were able to get it up and get it through.
May have to get a little bit better coordination on the lights as well, because the celebration of flicking the lights on and off happened just as Larkins was approaching for the extra point. So, I don't know if he wants to kick in the dark.
Sure, I know. Even for a fraction of a second, right? They got it together. They get the point after and the touchdown. So TU leads at 9-0 over the Marauders of Central State. This is Golden Tigers football on the Golden Tigers Sports Network.
Hi, Tuskegee Nation. I'm Aaron James, head coach at Tuskegee University, and you're watching the Golden Tiger Sports Network.
C-SPY is a prestigious scholarship, a world-class leadership training program, and a ticket to a rewarding career as an officer in the United States Coast Guard. C-SPY is an opportunity for students attending minority-serving institutions that goes beyond paying for 2 years of tuition and other college expenses. Once accepted, you'll be a member of the Coast Guard, earning a full-time salary, plus medical benefits and a housing allowance. While continuing your full-time studies, you'll get to learn about life in the Coast Guard firsthand. You'll quickly find that the Coast Guard is unique from the other military branches. It's a different kind of service, with crews of like-minded people who perform life-saving missions every day and protect our environment and communities. If you're ready to step up as a leader and help us make the world a better place, then visit gocoastguard.com/CSPI to learn more or talk to a recruiter.
Greeting, Tuskegee Nation. I'm Reginald Ruffin, your Director of Athletics, and you're listening to the Golden Tiger Sports Network.
Stadium, the news all good for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee with a 9-0 lead.
Charles, during the timeout, head coach Johnny Cox of Central State involved in a very animated conversation with 2 officials right about the 30-yard line. He was gesturing to the near corner of the end zone, was there talking to them during the entire timeout, walked to the sideline, and then, as you see sometimes baseball managers, he went back out to get some more.
Get a little more,
Gave
right?
them a little more, about 30 more seconds of behind whatever he was unhappy about. He goes back to his team to see if they can get them fired up. But Johnny Cox really not happy with the officiating on that last offensive series for Tuskegee.
Tuskegee with the 9-0 lead. They will get set to kick it away to Central State. We'll see if they make some adjustments after that fumble on their last possession. So Ryan set to kick it away. Celebrating the lights here at Tuskegee at the football stadium. Ryan with the kick, another deep kick by him. No chance of a return there. So the Marauders will have it on possession after the touchback.
So we'll give who is ever the operator of the lighting system here a break, because it is the first night game in the history of Tuskegee University. But my suggestion would be just leave the lights on. Turn on the switch. Don't touch it. Leave it alone.
You can't be afraid of technology now, Lassiter. You got to work it, man.
I don't
push it, bro.
I don't want my place cooker kicking in the dark.
Starting to turn to dark here in Tuskegee. We'll see a lot of cameras flashing after that once they get a full effect of this light, these lights being here in the facility. Meanwhile, play has stopped for a moment. Tuskegee on its first drive got a 45-yard field goal from Larkin Ryan.
And look, once again, to the near sideline, about the 25-yard line, the head coach of Central State, Johnny Cox, again giving it to the officials, a third official now coming to the Central State sideline to get in on whatever he's unhappy with.
Play had stopped for a moment. .442 left, first quarter of play. Can only go by what you see. So right now, play has stopped. Of course, making a reference here to Central State head coach Tony Carter. But in the game notes, they do have Cox listed as the head coach. Carter taking over that program late. Kevin Porter, head coach last year, in only 1 year duty for Central State. And Kevin, I understand now, is roaming the sidelines as an assistant at Morehouse College. So the Marauders making a change to first-year head coach Tony Carter. All right, the officials break up that huddle. And set to resume action. Glad you could join us here for our coverage on GTSN. We'll be here all season long with Tuskegee football, primarily through our audio broadcast. And we'll have live video coverage of Homecoming 2025 from Abbott Memorial. On the ground, Marauders going to keep it. They work it toward the corner. Bossy trying to turn the corner, but denied there. How about that surge by Tuskegee at the end? Close that gap at the corner. Bossy shut down after a loss.
Tuskegee brought Timothy Grayson up to the line of scrimmage from his corner position, and Grayson did an excellent job of sealing that side of the field and making an excellent open field tackle.
Loss of 2 on the play.
Grayson a bit larger than your average defensive back. He's 6'3", 200 pounds.
Hill shotgun. And he's wrapped up. Hill is. Now he'll break free of that. Roams the sideline, left side, stutter steps, works his way back to the inside. All that work to get it back to the initial line of scrimmage. Good scramble by Hill. But Tuskegee stops in there, so that'll make it third. Never did make it back to the line. About a yard shy. That was 3rd and 11.
Coming into the season, we talked about it last game, Charles. If Tuskegee's defensive backs can improve their coverage a notch, and it appears so far this evening they have, makes it much easier for those guys up front to close and get the sacks.
3rd and long, Central State. We're down to 3:16 left first quarter. Tuskegee with a 9-0 lead. Hill with the snap. Short drop. Pumps across the middle. Got a man on a crossing route. Catch made underneath by Snow. That's his second grab, but he's only able to gain about 2 after the catch and run to the 28. So Tuskegee, another good defensive showing there.
As Tuskegee did last week also, Charles, they dominated the time of possession. After their sluggish first half, Tuskegee's defense allowed the offense to have some longer drives, and as a result, the defense stayed much fresher in the second half of that football game.
Troubled snap there last time. They get a better snap on this punt exchange. Edwards with a high punt. Fair catch called for a lot of traffic there. I think it hit the back of one of the Marauders downfield. Bounces up near the 50-yard line.
I hate to say it. I think that ball might have hit off a Tuskegee oncoming coverage player. Or return player.
There is a flag down at the point of contact there. I think they're going to perhaps call it in, give them enough space to catch the football on a fair catch call for. That's my initial indication, although you could be right that it did bounce off of him, but you still need that space to be able to catch the punt. They'll talk about it near the 39-yard line.
And there are two different flags. You made the call. Once again, Tuskegee's going to take over in excellent field position for this next drive start.
So that'll be across midfield, as you referenced, at the 46. Chance for us to thank one of our newest sponsors coming on with us this weekend, the Tuskegee Federal Credit Union, serving the people of Macon County and surrounding area since 1938, and it first opened its doors at Tuskegee Institute. Credit Union offers free checking accounts, saving accounts, home mortgages, home refinancing, automobile, signature, and payday alternative loans, and internet teller services. Better than a bank, because when you open an account with us, you become a part owner. Glad to have them as a part of the Tuskegee Golden Tiger Sports Network team. And Tuskegee now in a good position to start this drive. They've scored on each possession of the ball game so far.
Charles, you talked about this turnout having the feel of a mini homecoming. This is one of the few home games during the regular season that you'll see as many people as there are on the hill to our left with the tents and the setups. Even before the game, the tailgate directly behind the broadcast booth or the press box, they had the sound systems going. It had a sound of homecoming.
Sure, yeah. As you referenced, a couple of RVs in the back. All the trappings of a homecoming set here.
And the good news for this weather report, the sun is making an appearance. So what started out as a cloudy and rainy kickoff has now turned into a more festive-looking second quarter.
Indeed, you're right. Sun peering out on the other side just behind the historic shed here at Tuskegee University.
And I'll give credit to the student section of the shed. They were here at least an hour and a half before kickoff. I remember the first game we did for a Tuskegee homecoming with Clark Atlanta University. We were down on the field, and I was just surprised. Not only were they students here early, they were cheering early.
Sure.
So they get the chance going even before the teams are taking the field.
Yeah, it's very unique to Tuskegee that they have that student section over there, and the students here just really buy into their support of the Golden Tigers. Just capacity crowd over there on that side.
It's capacity to the point where there's an entire band of students that are sitting on the wall that is in front of the shed. They have a front row, but they also have a wall row.
Well, sure. On the wall. Reminds me of my days at another historic HBCU fan. They had an area where everybody hung out called the set. And all the guys would just be hanging out on the wall for obvious reasons.
On the set.
Nice setting here at Tuskegee as the students really have shown up here for this festive occasion of first ball game under the lights at TU. So Tuskegee now will have the basketball. We'll have that football at the 46-yard line of the Marauders. Yeah, got a little bit more ground to cover, right? Bill will line up shotgun. 4 up front for Central State. Tuskegee going left to right. In motion. And they throw it right up the field and incomplete again.
That's the same thing we saw last week. Wide open receiver. That time, Michael King was, let me make a correction on that. Was that Morris? That was coming out of the
backfield. Yeah.
And the ball was thrown in the vicinity, but just a scooch behind him. And as he's turning back for the ball, doesn't keep his eyes focused. Ball goes through his hands. He's in enough area, makes that catch. He probably adds on another 10 yards after the catch.
Johnny, last weekend, did have 2 receptions for Tuskegee, something they wanted to add to his arsenal of effectiveness. This time they're going to pitch it to him left side. Lost the helmet. Somebody did. Johnny at the corner. Knocked down near the 40-yard line, but that's after a pickup about 7 for him on the student body left.
Here we go with the missing helmets again. Yeah. The unofficial count was stand at 1 last week. It was at least 5 Tuskegee players who lost their helmets during that football game.
They'll give him 6 on it, so 3rd down and 4 you now with 2 minutes exactly remaining first quarter.
Beal at 6'5", 220. Got to be thinking run at some point.
Yeah, if he can't find anything downfield. We saw him do that last weekend, effectively run it for a first down. They may get a free one here on an offsides. Got a free play at the corner. Pass underthrown. Had a man at the 28-yard line, just did not put enough on it to get it to him squarely.
The good news is that Beal got the entire front of Central State to jump on the hard count, which will give Tuskegee a first down.
But you really want that play there. You get more on that one if you make that catch. It was Gabriel Garman, normally sure-handed. Garman had to come back for that football just a bit. Not able to corral it, but the offsides gives Tuskegee a fresh set of downs, moves the football to the 36-yard line.
Now, you know I'm old school. All of the Tuskegee receivers are wearing gloves. Some of these catches have to start being made.
Or no gloves for you, right? 1st and 10. Garman will be up top. Slot to the right of the quarterback. Beal lines up in the pistol. Morris joins him. Extended H-back Kamuku over on the right side. Ball fake, crossing route, thrown behind the receiver. Boy, this is carbon copy of what we saw last weekend, Laster, in terms of miscues either on the catches or the passes.
It's almost as if Beal is trying to evade the coverage by some of these throws. It can't be that he's that off target without reason. That time, that's about a 7-yard pass in the air. They're catchable balls, but he's throwing against the momentum of the receivers.
Tuskegee with a 10-0 lead. 1:37 left here in the first quarter. Trying to see if they can't get another. Good defensive stand. Gave them the football back after a penalty on the punt exchange. Bill, ball fake, shoots it right out in the flats. That one's almost picked off. Anticipating that pass out in the flats was Dallin Purry.
Purry broke down about the 30-yard line. Once Beal turned in his direction, he took the gamble, attacked the pass, had it in his hands. He slapped the turf at the end of that play, knowing that he had a clean interception if he's able to make the grab.
Trying to get it out there in the flats to Malik Thomas, the junior, but that's a long throw. And as you referenced, Purry was right on top of that once he saw Bill looking that way. Movement up front by that offensive Tuskegee with the first assessment against the Golden Tigers in this football game. It was 3rd and 10. This will push them back 5.
The Tuskegee offense has a strange personality at this time of the year. There are plays that seem to be ready to break open for big gains, but they're just not in sync or in perfect rhythm so far. Beal has got to be frustrated. His receivers have got to be frustrated.
That'll push him back to the 40. 3rd and 15 from there, and we're at 1:33 left first quarter. 10-0 lead for TU. Trips to the bottom of the screen. Bill, ball fake. They'll flush him right side. Has to dump it. Got a man there. Thrown there. I think Morris is on the catch. He was just a safety valve, and we got flags coming all over the field and another helmet down as well.
Given the spot of where that penalty flag was thrown, we get a hold against Tuskegee. Beal running for his life in the pocket as there was a breakdown on the left side of the offensive line for Tuskegee.
Initial flag, then they threw another one in. So perhaps could be 2 assessments against Tuskegee. Agree with you. That came at the spot where likely a hold took place. Just not a really good developing play for TU from the very start. The pursuit for Central State pretty heavy at the front line. And Bill was already rolling to his right side at just about the time he got the snap.
Battle between Kenyon Smith and LeBron Merriweather. Kenyon Smith gets caught for hands to the face, and we know LeBron Merriweather is one of the anchors of that offensive front. That's an interesting matchup to watch. As it stands, they'll offset. Tuskegee still has a 3rd and long to go.
So they'll put it back at the 40. So 3rd and 15. Looks to be the same set. 3 receivers, right of the quarterback. Only 3 up front for the Marauders. They're going to play prevent here to prevent that reception from the first down. Tuskegee going to go on the ground to Morris instead. Hurdles over one player near the 35, but lost its balance in the air, so he'll be down at the 35, and that'll bring up a 4th down now for Tuskegee. And likely Larkin Ryan's coming here. We'll see if he's going to put it down for a field goal. They are setting for it. They'll put it down at the 42, which will push him at 52. He had a 49-yarder last year. And Tuskegee trying to get one more player out there. Cullum Brent, the punter, will do the holding here. And Ryan will try to pump a 52-yarder. Had plenty of distance on this first field goal of this ball game. They got it down. Larkin line drive kick. That's enough leg. Did he get the accuracy of it? No, he did not get it through the uprights. It was a low rider all the way through the kick. Thought he had enough leg to get it through the uprights. He did that. He just did not have the accuracy. So 52 yards away, Ryan not able to convert there. Football going over to the Marauders of Central State. Tuskegee, after the punt mark, had good field position to start that drive. Couple of botched plays, if you will, in terms of drop passes, kind of took the momentum away from him and eventually wound up trying that 52-yarder.
The game has a lot of the similar complexion as the game last week, where Tuskegee's had excellent field position early, not able to convert. So their defense, once again, with the challenge to see if they can hold Central State on this shutout.
Just a couple of seconds left here in this first period of play. Hill will have to run one play here. Tuskegee tightening up at the corners. Hill, ball fake, now gave it to the running back right side. One man to beat, tripped up there near midfield and into Tuskegee territory. So that'll bring us to this end of the first quarter. Carry there for the Marauders of Central State. That was Devontae Young. Young with his first carry of the ball game. Had over 100 yards in the loss to Kentucky State last weekend, but had a big ground gainer there to end the first quarter of play. It ends with Tuskegee leading at 10-0 over the Marauders of Central State. We'll take a break here on GTSN.
Hey, are you fixing the power?
Yep, I'm gonna get the lights back on.
Yeah, my power went out and I have to start level 14 all over again in our game. Yeah, why didn't mine go out?
Well, we have this technology that can stop an outage in its tracks.
Why?
So less people will be affected during the outage.
Why?
So you can make the level 15?
Come on, Brian. Let's go to your house and keep playing.
Good luck, guys.
Hey, Golden Tiger fans. Arthur A.J. Woodson here, class of 2010, current president for the New York Tuskegee Alumni Association, encouraging all other alumni chapters to sign up for this year's Golden Tiger Sports Network Alumni Chapter Challenge, grand prize being a deluxe tailgate experience being held at this year's homecoming. Sign your chapters up now so that you can be a part of the weekly score predictions, trivia during the game, and even have a live check-in during the game on the GTSN if your chapter is hosting a watch party. So sign up and be a part of this year's Alumni Chapter Challenge.
Marauders of Central State. We head into the second quarter of play.
Charles, Tuskegee's got to be feeling very good about themselves with a 10-0 lead. But on the downside, they've got to be a little bit frustrated about their offense. And as a result of the last carry by Davonte Young by Central State, they're going to have some tightening up to do because that run by Mr. Young broke wide open. And if Central State can get their run game going, that will be a huge advantage going against this Tuskegee team that's really struggled to pass the ball.
Yeah, Central State with Young on that. We were talking about him before the break. He had 110 yards in the ball game last week. That coming off of a run of 73, and that was on a possession. The prior possession, John Bossy, the other running back, he went for a 63-yard run. And they were a big part of the offense for the Marauders of Central State. And the defensive coordinator, O.C. Williams, he said that he knew that those two players were people that they had to concentrate on in this ball game.
You could tell the burst by Young. Once he got into open space on that last run, it was difficult for Tuskegee to catch up to him in that defensive backfield. So I would be surprised to see Central State probe a little bit more with that running back Young.
They got a good tandem in those two, Tuskegee. Going to try to keep an eye on them. Set to begin second half quarter action. Tuskegee going into it with a 10-0 lead. Central State flips the field now. They'll go left to right in these final 15 minutes before the intermission. Hill still trying to navigate some traffic in terms of players being on and off the field. And they get the required number out there. And Hill will line up in shotgun. On the snap, dumps it out there in the flats. Catch him there, angling up the field. Good run there, still on his feet at toward the sideline, and one man to beat now. And finally chased out of bounds on the area was Kenyon Gardner, the freshman from Jacksonville.
Gardner's listed at only 5'9". Once he made the catch and got into space, you could see his elusiveness and his burst, picking up another Central State first down.
They just flipped that one out to him in the flats, and he was able to get a couple of blocks and navigated the field when they move it and get it inside of the 30 of Tuskegee. Deep its penetration for Central State.
Central State back to the line of scrimmage, a little more zest this time.
Sure. He'll keep it on the ground. This time they're going to try the right side. Banging and hit initially, but spinning forward. A flag coming at the back of that play. This was Cole Reinhardt, the freshman from Columbus, Georgia, on the carry right side.
From the point of the attack and the tackle, we get a face mask as you could see the helmet twist a bit.
So Marauders with the momentum, Tuskegee helping there with that assessment. So that'll push the Marauders inside of the red zone. Deepest trip for them in the ball game.
Central State having huge success running the football inside the red zone. They're going to continue to probe with their big running backs.
We've seen 4 different ones so far in this ball game.
Over the 12-yard line, 1st and 10 from Marauders.
They will go on the ground right side there and knocked out of bounds on a reverse there. They got it out to the hands of Corey Burnett Jr., the senior from Centerville, Ohio. Kind of a little end around for him to run it down to the 11.
One of the key players for Central Front, big Amari McKenzie, 6, and he has no weight listed, but I'm going to go out on a limb and give him a 300 pounds right off the rip because McKenzie lined up left guard is a mountain.
Indeed. Taking a look at him, both he tackled to his right. A lot of girth there. 2nd and 9 from the 11. Hitting pass and almost intercepted, threw it past the receiver. And Tuskegee with a man there in coverage. And that was John Brown III. Brown almost with an interception thrown right to him.
Hit him in a bad spot. John Brown III, right about the 3-yard line, diagnosed the play perfectly, made a break on the ball, had for just a moment, would have been a huge interception for Tuskegee as Central State is driving This is a huge third down and long call for them.
Yeah, looked like Brown was targeting the receiver versus the ball because that was thrown right to him. Third down and 9. Snap to Hill. He'll take the drop. Here comes the pressure. Steps up, slides to his right, wrapped up from behind, breaks free from that, slides his way inside, maybe close enough for to Central State first down. Good second effort by the quarterback for the Marauders of Central State.
The nice thing for Tyson Hill at 6'6", he's able to survey the field. That time, no one was open on the attempted pass play. Did the intelligent thing, stepped up into the pocket, picked up considerable yardage. This is a fourth and by the yard marker, fourth and about a yard coming up.
I don't think it's really going to be a big consideration for the Marauders of Central State. You survey the ball game against Kentucky State last weekend. They went for 2. They were trailing in the ball game, but they went for 2 on 2 occasions, converted on both after touchdowns. So I'm not sure if it's this initial L, and if it is, then you're likely going to see them go for it here on this 4th and short.
Wouldn't be surprised to see the 6'6" senior Tyson Hill at quarterback take it himself and allow him to improvise.
He'll be joined by Gardner in the backfield. And then they're going to come back again and take a timeout. They took a timeout there with 12:33 remaining in this first half of play. Red Hat coming out for HBCU Go. So it looks like they're going to take a full timeout. So we'll do the same here on the Golden Tiger Sports Network. Stay with us.
Broadcast coverage of Golden Tigers athletics is brought to you by the following. The U.S. Coast Guard, always ready. Booster Digital Displays, dedicated to providing high-quality, affordable LED displays with exceptional service. Alabama Power, for the service of Alabama. TNT Fireworks, celebrating more than 100 years of America's #1 best-selling brand of fireworks. Yellowwood, a better backyard awaits. Home Depot, how doers get more done. Utilities Board of Tuskegee, purpose, progress, people. Coca-Cola, enjoy the moment with a Coca-Cola. Tuskegee Federal Credit Union, serving the people of Tuskegee and the surrounding community since 1938. TLAT Media, step by step, TLAT Media makes your business grow. And by Advertising Solutions, from concept to conversion, we are your advertising solution.
Hello, Tuskegee fans. My name is Johnny Morris III, running back at Tuskegee University, and this is the Golden Tiger Sports Network.
Back live here at Alumni, or Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium at Tuskegee University. After the timeout, Marauders of Central State talk it over. 4th and less than a yard down at the 2-yard line of Tuskegee as they hustle to the line. Quick snap, and they have a whistle here, a flag coming in. Boy, that'll be costly if the Marauders jumped on that.
Tuskegee's defense signaling illegal motion. Central State tried to hustle to the line and go on the first sound, but they just were not in sync. They're going to lose 5 yards on a very sloppily executed play out of the timeout.
There you go. That's the big point about it, is you took the top, and that's what happened. So they'll be pushed back 5 outside of the 5-yard line now, and it'll be 4th down and 5. Now they're going to try a field goal. As a result, they will bring on field goal kicker Jaden Edwards. And Edwards will be down at about a 24-yard effort. See if they can't get their first score of the ball game. Snap, they got that down. Kick is airborne and off to the right. So the Golden Tiger defense once again bending a little bit there on that sequence by the Marauders, but they are able to hold on and keep the Marauders off of the scoreboard.
Tuskegee loaded up the left side of its defensive wall Didn't get a lot of pressure on that side, but the kicker, Central State, just hooked it.
Yep. Left it out here, and we don't know the condition down there at field level. The rain was pretty heavy before it subsided. Hadn't seen any splashes or anything. You reference to the point that the turf pushing a lot of that off, but that football could still be wet to some degree. And with that there, he just kind of left that one out hanging right side as you referenced.
You're being very kind. There are no wet spots on the field, but again, we're up here in the booth. We really can't know what the actual condition might at the place of the spot. But that's a makeable kick under any condition.
No doubt about it. Just that to the right, but it kind of confirms what we were talking about before the timeout, that their kicking game may be suspect to some degree because they were toying with obviously going forward on that 4th and short. But back to their history from last weekend, not surprised that they didn't connect on that one. So Tuskegee Ritz 10-0 lead over the Central. Chance for us to share with you that next weekend we will be in Jackson, Mississippi. And that's going to be quite an interesting contest for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. And what I mean by that is we talked about it during the last ball game. If to hold on the game, go into that contest with Jackson State at a 2-0 mark, and heaven forbid they win that ball game, you talk about all kinds of momentum there. But the big thing's going to be if you're at 2-0, you want to come out of that ball game against Jackson State unscathed as it relates to injuries.
Win or lose tonight, Jackson State will the type of football team you have, because going up a team against the team in the SWAC conference, again, one that has a few extra scholarships to offer. Tuskegee going into the home arena of one of the best teams in the SWAC. Jackson State, you'd have to consider them a top 3 squad, and it'll be a measuring stick for Tuskegee on the road.
Indeed it will, because we talk about that Jackson State team. Still some holdover from the Sanders era there, and that even opposed them to even better recruiting people that come in after them. There's not going to be a drop-off because Sanders is not there anymore. It's going to be a real challenge for Tuskegee on the road.
And one thing about Mississippi, similar to Alabama, very fertile recruiting ground. So if Jackson State is able to recruit well, they can continue what Coach Prime start building there in terms of a team that would be consistently the top of that conference.
And the other, as it relates to playing Jackson State next Saturday on the road, the reality is that our ball game, win it or lose, that you're going to put right back up on the fall against Benedict.
That's the hard part. It's an extremely short week for a road game. Hopefully, Tuskegee, as you mentioned, can have the Jackson State healthy and be able to continue into the meat of their schedule. We know what happened last year with Tuskegee. Started slow, had that 5-game winning streak in the middle, and then kind of fall in. This year, they're hoping to reverse that. Start quick, build some momentum, and see if they can close the season strong.
12:28 remains in this first of this football. Tuskegee with a 10-0 lead. They get to go back on. Bill works back at quarterback, the senior. 18 of 33 last week. And he will set up in the pistol here from the 20-yard line. They'll keep it on the ground. Morris looks for some space right side. Got it back to the interior. Runs it near the 24 for Tuskegee. Nice scamper on the inside. Pick up 4 there for Morris.
Tuskegee calls its plays at the line of scrimmage. They do not run a huddle. What they give the look sometimes at the line of scrimmage that they're snap the football, but they'll pull out to get what appears to be a second call once the coaching staff has a chance to survey the defense. So it's a no offense that Tuskegee runs.
Yeah, it's to see if at some point during the season they start to go right into that and just go right at this lineup at the line of scrimmage. Teams won't be expecting that. On the ground, quick hitter up the middle. This time Mars got some hard head of steam there, got it up to the 30-yard line. Second wave of that Marauder defense and runs it for a first down.
For a 5'9" running back, Johnny Morris shows an excellent burst and enough strength to burst up the middle and pick up that first down.
Johnny sat out a few ball games last year due to injury, But came into this season ready to go. And a good hard run by him there to move the sticks up 32. He'll join Bill in the backfield in the shotgun. Bill ball fake across the middle. Got a man there. Good catch made there at the 40-yard line and falling ahead. And Tuskegee with a first down.
So while we weren't looking, the Central State band snuck into the stands below us, and they're just now tuning up, warming up for halftime. A very quiet entrance by the Marauder band.
Yeah, made the trip all the way down from Wilberforce to join us, too. Glad to have him down here on a special night for Tuskegee. First night football game ever at Tuskegee under the lights. Gregory King, the tight end on that catch for Tuskegee. They are starting to integrate him into that offense. King had a catch last weekend in the win against Winston-Salem. Big grab there for a first down. From the 46. Bill faked the handoff. He'll keep it. Now slides back to the other side to draw the defense away. Bill just not quick enough to that corner. Tried to turn it. Turned to go back to the inside and got it down near midfield. Got 3 on that play, but had a lot of real estate with him because it was designed to come left, and all of the Marauder defense was over there. Bill trying to go back to reverse his field.
Excellent decision by Bill to come back the other way, opposite to where the play was designed. I was surprised he didn't break it to the outside as opposed to trying to take on the tackler cutting back inside.
Yeah, I think the real reality there is that Raekwon's not that fast a foot that he couldn't beat that defender out there. That's why he decided to go back to the inside. But a nice play call there, something they want to keep in a Rolodex because that was effective. Second down for Tuskegee now from the 49. Ball fake, Bill in the pocket, surveys, fires it across the middle, then traffic, and he threw an interception. Tried to go deep in the middle of the field, and the Marauders pick it off.
Bill had E.J. Hall wide open at the 25 and just underthrew him. Ball, you can see Hall turn to the sideline as if to say, I was open, he just missed me. So Bill turns it over, throwing down the middle of the field in double coverage, just a bit short.
And picking that football off for the Marauders of Central State was Anthony Williams, the freshman Detroit. So Williams with the pick. Bill, first interception of the ball game. Second of the season. So Central State takes it back now from there at their own 32. They'll keep it on the ground side looking for space as both Bossy turns the corner, got it past the 35 up near the 37 for Central State. That run comes now. Here in this second quarter of play. Trying to get a read on the play clock down to our left. Showing a minute and 40 seconds left in this first half, but don't believe that's where we are at this point in this first half. Fake across the middle in traffic. May see a flag here. No, we don't. It's good defensive work there by the Tuskegee secondary, riding the intended receiver, Nicholas Smith, all the way on an inside route.
Smith had some space, but excellent coverage by Tuskegee's defense right in the middle at about the 45-yard line.
They're going quickly on this one. Hill's got some space. He'll slide back to the inside. Got it past the 40. I think he's got enough for a Central State first down. And it's a Central State sideline is just going crazy, trying to get the attention of the officials, talking about the game clock. Now they reset it at the right time at 8:20. That sounds about right. But they had it at a minute 30 just prior. A good run there, Bill, for Central State to get it to the marker for the first down. Eight left first half of play. After the interception, Central State at its own 42. Now Hill will keep it again. This time he surveys left side, runs it up to the 45. Right now, Central State just kind of pounding it on the ground. mostly from the quarterback, Hill.
Quarterback Hill and the running back, Jaden Bossy, were side by side when that ball was snapped in the shotgun. Bossy's job was to carry out the ball fake. Well done. Not much pickup, but a creative formation that time out of the shotgun formation.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have another stoppage of play. Marauders coming to the sideline. The officials stopping. I think there's some concern about the play clock and where it should be. Might get a word here.
What's interesting about that previous play is you see the Central State coach debating with the officials again about the time. The idea that at running back, I would say they were more than 2 yards apart.
Not a lot of space.
Had the look of a direct snap
Sure.
for a minute. But that's an interesting look for Central State. Tuskegee's defense may want one in terms of how Central State may want to deploy that off the ball fake.
Yeah. Pickup of only 3 as you reference on that play, but it was in formation, to say the least. TU leads at 10-0. 7:17 right now showing on the clock, but I think there were that to get it to the right time. And it's a chance for us to continue the alumni from across the country to remind you about the Alumni Challenge still going on. Each chapter tally points during the course of the week to determine at the end of the season. We'll have that deluxe tailgating experience for homecoming 2025 here at Memorial Alumni Stadium. We'll make our first ranking announcements at next weekend's ball game after the first 3 ball games of the season to kind of get a sense about the leaderboard for our first annual Alumni Chapter Challenge. So I thank our friend A.J. Woodson for promoting it for us on air at TSN as his chapter will be content for that homecoming experience.
You know what I appreciate about A.J. Woodson last season when we started reaching out to alumni? He was one of the first alumni to say, what can I help? And between games, A.J. Woodson was producing his promotions for the Golden Tiger Sports Network. Unsolicited and well done, I may. But again, it's alumni like that make the program go. Not what we can do for them. What can we do for the program?
Sure, that's right. And I had just to ask him, say, AJ, do you mind cutting the spot for the challenge?
Oh, you know
It's like,
he was
man,
all
you
about
gotta
that.
Consider that done, right?
The only problem about A.J. Woodson, he's hard to find on homecoming because he has his own setup
thing,
on the
right?
hill, right?
Sure.
And he's got a following. So if you want to get with A.J. Woodson during homecoming, you got to take a number.
Sure. And then last year he had that really engagement in terms of art here at during homecoming that was really well received, and it was a benefit type thing that he put on, and his cohorts and friends put it on, which was a nice gesture. So you still got time, chapter presidents, to get involved. 7 more balls left during the course, or 8 more left during the course of the season. But we'll announce that at homecoming, the winning chapter of our first annual. Timeout here at the facility. Tuskegee with a 10-0 lead. And lights really starting to have full effect now as it's turned dark here in Tuskegee. So this is really the first occasion of the lights here at Tuskegee for football action.
You can see on the near sideline, the Central State coach is still gesturing with the officials right at about the 43-yard line. He has been unhappy since midway through the first quarter. And as there have been some clock difficulties, it's only seemed to make him a little bit more perturbed at how the game is being managed.
All right, got problems with us in terms of play. Now you're getting us with the clock too, so he's double mad. After the timeout, they'll settle it at 7:17 on the clock. Central State will have the football. They'll have a second down and about 8 from their own 44.
The Central State band arrived late. They started to crank it up just as the Central State offense was coming to the scrimmage, and the coaching staff on the near sideline had to turn to the band to say, okay, tone it down when we have the ball.
Glad you're here, but
Right.
it's an impressive thing here at this mini homecoming, if you will, for Tuskegee as they celebrate the introduction of lights at Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium, the first night ball game ever in the history of this iconic football program. Fans just line the fences on the far side. Set the receiver. Now Hill and shot brings the receiver, sliding back, hitch pass out and flamble there after the catch, having to dive on it. Tuskegee coming at it as well. A flag coming in at the back end of that play. We'll check that out. Trying to get it out there in the flats.
The line of scrimmage was the 40. The flag was thrown from the 40-yard line on the opposite end of the field.
They may wind up picking that flag up. I think that one came after. Yeah, that's what I thought. That play was already dead before they called that play downfield. Trying to get it out in the flats to Gardner. And Gardner bobbled it momentarily. I think they ruled he never did have possession. And it'll remain, they say he did catch it, but he was down behind the line of scrimmage after he bobbled it. So he actually lost a couple yards on the play. So that'll make it 3rd down and 12 now for the Marauders. With 6:45 left first half of play. TU with 3 up front. Now they bring a 4th. Hill, ball fake, pressure coming. Hill eludes, slips on the surface, eludes a tackler there, still on his feet, works his way near midfield, bounced out of bounds at about the 49. That'll make him 3 yards shy of the marker and likely forcing the Marauders to punt the football away.
Hill just a bit indecisive that time between pass and run at the last moment. Fought his way through traffic, got to the near sideline, but as it stands, Central State comes up with a 4th and about 4. Tuskegee once again received this football. Decent field.
And set to punt it. Missing one before the high snap. He handled and can't turn it over. Line drive bounces. Each ball takes a look at it. Have to let this one roll to the favor of the Marauders. They'll get it down near the 2-yard line.
I take that back. With a kick, they got a favorable roll all the way inside the 5-yard line. So the challenge for Tuskegee now, security.
Yeah, I'm not even sure that Edwards intentionally not wanted to get that one in flight, intentionally turned it wobbly and got it rolling forward. Going to break for them.
The ball hit at about the 20-yard line
Sure.
and had enough of a forward roll to benefit Central State with another 8 yards inside the 5.
So that Golden Tiger offense going to be pressed to start their own territory near the 2. There after this timeout, but there was a flag on that play, Mark. And looks like that went against Tuskegee. So they were pent before. They're going to be pent even further. It'll put them half the distance, and that'll put them just inside of the 1 this drive. My, oh, my. Just outside of the end zone to start it.
You could not have the ball to the end zone as where it's been spotted.
Sure.
I would imagine our vantage point out a 6-inch space in the nose of the football and the goal line stripe. Tuskegee back Beal will take this snap in the end.
Indeed, as you look at the line of screen up, most of their bodies in the end zone as well. So Bill in a short shotgun, he'll take the snap, try to work it up the middle. There's Morris, got some space for Tuskegee, still on his feet. Johnny runs it up near the 14-yard line. That's a good run space for that offense for a first down.
I like all on the hitter. Nothing fancy, hoping that Morris can in between the 2 guards. He did. First down, Tuskegee.
Really short for Tuskegee on the inside. It plays with a reasonable burst of speed and some power inside. So up to the 4 run by Morris. First in Tuskegee. We're at 5:02 remaining first half. 6-5 takes the snap, puts it on the ground. Again, same out on the football field. Get that extra yardage, laying that football just out in front of him a little bit dangerous on that play, but able to keep it in its position.
The problem for defensive linemen with the 5'9" Morris is blink. They're going to have a hard time picking him up out of the backfield. That time, you can see the traffic form converted out for the gain. A 2nd and short for Tuskegee.
And on that last for Tuskegee was Shaquille Rouser on that. Rouser got that big break on the inside. Rouser, good work for Tuskegee in that running back set that they 4 of them go interchangeably. Rouser previous run, he'll stay in there joining Bill in the backfield. I think Tuskegee's going to take a timeout here. Yeah, Coach James trying to get the official to let him know they wanted to take one, and they take it with 3:59 remaining in the first half, and they take it leading at 10-0 over the Marauders of Central State. Let's take a break here on our coverage on GTSN.
I grew up coming out to this land. There's just something special about it. I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's really important to me.
Hi Tuskegee fans, I am Larkin Ryans, the kicker for Tuskegee University, and this is the Golden Tiger Sports Network.
Quick out that time on the field. Bill, after the timeout, he'll keep it and run it right side, and Bill runs it past the 30 up near the 32-yard line, and that's a pickup on the run by Raekwon Bill. TU with the 10-0 lead. Trying to see if they can't get another score before the break. Trailed. I'm sorry, go ahead.
TU's got to be thinking clock 3:25 and running here.
On the ground. They go straight ahead on the carry. And past the 35-yard line. Yeah, again, that's Rouser on the carry for Tuskegee on the inside. So Rouser picks up 3. Clock continues to run. And to your point, Mark, what they want to do is not leave anything on the clock, get that football into the end zone. 2nd and 7.
Remaining in the second quarter.
Bill, after getting the call from the sideline, set. Play clock not a factor. Bill in the pocket, fires across the middle, threw it high, but catch there, nicely done, going upfield after the grab. Catch was made downfield that time by Malik Thomas. They've gone to him a couple of times in this ball game, and Thomas coming away with a grab there.
Malik Thomas at target at 6'3", 190. Bill would be better served to see if he can find some other receivers that can catch in traffic.
Got a couple of drop balls early in this ball game in traffic. Thomas hangs on there, got it to the 49. Tuskegee with a fresh set of downs there with 2 minutes, and we've come to that 2-minute timeout here in this first half of play. Teams will go to the sidelines. Tuskegee leads at 10-0. We'll take a quick break here on GTSN.
Hey, Golden Tiger fans. Arthur A.J. Woodson here, class of 2010, current president for the New York Tuskegee Alumni Association, encouraging all other alumni chapters to sign up for this year's Golden Tiger Sports Network Alumni Chapter Challenge, grand prize being a deluxe tailgate experience being held at this year's homecoming. Sign your chapters up now so that you can be a part of the weekly score predictions, trivia during the game, and even have a live check-in during the game on the GTSN if your chapter is hosting a watch party. So sign up and be a part of this year's Alumni Chapter Challenge.
Okay, all right, perfect. Thank you, George. Back live here at Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium just before the intermission. 2 minutes left. Tuskegee leading 10-0 They're at the 49-yard line of the Marauders of Central State, trying to see if they can't get another before we go into the intermission. Charles McNeil vacationing on his birthday in Hawaii, so won't handle the halftime shows this weekend. Decided to give him a break. Working holiday and break in Hawaii deserves some halftime stats for you and get you caught up in half action as the halftime unfolds here at the first ball game under the lights at Tuskegee University. And you know that Crimson Punching Band's going to have a special performance on the night.
I'm just impressed. This may be the first time in the history of Golden Tiger Sports Network you've had a remote all of Hawaii.
Yeah.
Out of the country.
I believe that. Yeah. We're confident that that's the first time. Charles dressed for the occasion with his Hawaiian outfit on, going to black sand beaches in the big island of Hawaii.
Take time off your vacation to do that.
As it is, he's telling me today, it's like, man, she was giving me the vowel all day. Like, okay, you all the way over here to Hawaii, and you're here doing work, right?
Sure. What time was it? Time difference.
Let's see. My question is he would be getting up like at 7 in the morning. It'd be 11 here, so probably about 3 or 4 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. Headed out tonight, back to this, and leaving there would be like 1 our time. So they're doing kind of a red eye out of Hawaii, headed back. So at the result after the timeout, Tuskegee from the 9-yard hill sends a man in motion, right side. That's Nation. Off trying to set something right side. Bills fire at the line, catch there and out of bounds near the 34. That's enough for the TU first.
Flags back the 45-yard line.
Oh boy. You see Coach Tony Carter, head coach of Central State, pointing back the other way. I don't know what he'll do if that goes against Central State, since he's already prejudging where that call is.
Well, you can see his defense coming back to the original line of scrimmage. Tuskegee's offense also retreating. We'll get the play call.
So they got Tuskegee up front and that will know that pass downfield. I believe it was Hall on the end of the 4 Tuskegee.
We talked about the youth, the Tuskegee offensive line, especially on the right. At that time, Ivan Williams, freshman, on the whole, bringing up first and 20 yards to go down for Tuskegee, who has struggled all evening with field position, but only being victimized by penalties.
Yeah, that's a big one there. Start from the 40. Bill steps up now, fires across route, catch made there. I believe that's Parker going to be grabbed. Parker with the catch last weekend, and that first year for the true freshman for Tuskegee. If you've had a chance to see play of Parker's touchdown catch last weekend, I didn't until the course of the week, and he really did phenomenal on that. Bill in the pocket now. Another one out there, and almost threw his second interception of the ball game.
And also fortunate that there wasn't a thing called as Matthias Davis, the deep lineman for Central, was pleading for a call right at the 45-yard line.
Third down coming up here for Tuskegee, but finishing that thought on Preston Parker. After he caught that ball across the middle about 4 or 5 yards out of the end zone, he got bumped there in some traffic, spun around and just did on a one span and put on the ground, kept its balance, spins, and got into the end zone. Phenomenal play by him for his first touchdown. Bill here on the third. Here comes the pressure. Steps up, fires again, traffic again, and this one overthrown. Bill, no question, is a better when he's able to stand in the pocket upfield.
Defense back. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Justin Harris for Central had a hand on that ball. Second time we've seen defensive backs with clear shots at field passes.
Yeah, that one, very interceptable ball, if you will. So after the offense kind of sputters there. That'll bring Cullum Brent on for the first time in this ball game to punt the football away for Tuskegee. Brent, in his debut for Tuskegee as a punter, averaged 47 yards a punt in the Red Tails Classic. This one tries to angle toward the corner. It'll bounce at the 5. Got a man back there. Can they keep it out? I think they ran into each other and knocked it into the end zone. So Brent got it airborne, had it bounce at about the 5. Tuskegee able to keep it out, and then the football over the Marauders of Central State.
Brent gets tremendous hang time on his punts, allowing his coverage team to get back almost enough time to make a play on that ball on the fly.
Now, if you'll remember, had some difficulty at punting last year. There's a real question mark coming into this season. Had a chance to catch up with Coach Jane in preseason. I said, well, what is it looking like this year? He's like, Charles, you're going to love it. And so far, he is absolutely right. Brent, the freshman Australia, good job thus far. On the Marauders up the middle. And they break it. Bossy got Gary. He's up at the 32-yard line, but a lot of softness there, a prevent on Tuskegee's defense to prevent a pass from downfield, and a lot of running space as a result for Bossy. That time up the middle. This time, Hill this time he's knocked down and sacked by that Tuskegee defense near the 24 line.
Coverage sack as Tuskegee had defenders in the deep zone, no one open. That time getting excellent pressure up front.
They'll get him down at the 24, so good surge by that defense of the Golden Tigers. And the clock running here for halftime. Hill will send 2 receivers to his right. He'll take the snap, throw back, and out in the flats right side, and circling back to the inside. On the reception was Fletcher. And Fletcher back to the inside rather than running toward the sideline to perhaps stop the clock. Got it going, and it runs out here. And Tuskegee, after the first 2 quarters of play, they go into the locker room with a 10-0 lead over the Marauders of Central State. Just like we talked about in the ball game last weekend, Mark, although in this case Tuskegee leading it at the break. They trailed last weekend. Tuskegee seemingly leaving a lot of points on the field in that first.
Tuskegee leading, but if there's any word to this first half, I would call it sluggish on offense.
Yeah, just like the beginning weather here with the rain. It just did not firing on all cylinders, but we'll see. We saw some nice adjustments, both offensively and defensively in that first ball game of the season. We'll see what's ahead for the Golden Tigers as they prepare for the second half against the Marauders of Central State. Take a break here on GTSN. Back with more coverage of Tuskegee and the Marauders on the Golden Tiger Sports Network.
C-SPY is a prestigious scholarship, a world-class leadership training program, and a ticket to a rewarding career as an officer in the United States Coast Guard. C-SPY is an opportunity for students attending minority-serving institutions that goes beyond paying for 2 years of tuition and other college expenses. Once accepted, you'll be a member of the Coast Guard, earning a full-time salary, plus medical benefits and a housing allowance. While continuing your full-time studies, you'll get to learn about life in the Coast Guard firsthand. You'll quickly find that the Coast Guard is unique from the other military branches. It's a different kind of service, with crews of like-minded people who perform life-saving missions every day and protect our environment and communities. If you're ready to step up as a leader and help us make the world a better place, then visit gocoastguard.com/CSPI to learn more or talk to a recruiter.
Hello, Tuskegee Nation. I'm Dr. Mark Brown, President and CEO of Tuskegee University. This is our First Lady, Miss Gwendolyn Jackson Brown. We are so excited about the Golden Tiger Sports Network and this year's season. TU, you know.
I love the lake. It's like one of the few places I can just let go and be myself. I really love it here.
Broadcast coverage of Golden Tigers athletics is brought to you by the following. The U.S. Coast Guard, always ready. Booster Digital Displays, dedicated to providing high-quality, affordable LED displays with exceptional service. Alabama Power, for the service of Alabama. TNT Fireworks, celebrating more than 100 years of America's #1 best-selling brand of fireworks. Yellowwood, a better backyard awaits. Home Depot, how doers get more done. Utilities Board of Tuskegee, purpose, progress, people. Coca-Cola, enjoy the moment with a Coca-Cola. Tuskegee Federal Credit Union, serving the people of Tuskegee and the surrounding community since 1938. TLAT Media, step by step, TLAT Media makes your business grow. And by Advertising Solutions, from concept to conversion, we are your advertising solution.
And welcome back, everybody. We're live here at the Alumni Memorial Stadium, our Cleve Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium at Tuskegee University, getting set for second half action. Charles Ward, Mark Laster, glad you could join us for our coverage on GTSN. Mark, Golden Tigers lead at 10-0 at the break. You referenced it going into the timeout that it wasn't the prettiest first half of football for them, but they do need lead nonetheless.
They do lead. And like last week, Charles, Tuskegee is simply dominating the time of possession.
You went right there, didn't you?
I had to go right there. Tuskegee with the football, 21 minutes, 33 seconds in that first half, compared with Central State, only 7 minutes and 23 seconds. I'm no mathematician, but that comes out to 3 times as much time of possession in the favor of Tuskegee with only 10 points to show for it. The other thing that jumps out, the fact that Tuskegee done a little bit better job running the football, but not with Johnny Morris. The person with the best average is Shaquille Rouser, who had 3 carries for 26 yards for an average of 8.7. So Rouser may get a few more touches in the second half.
Yeah, we saw that in last weekend's ball game that he started to come alive in the second half and had a couple of other running backs in the mix as well. Gardner got a couple of carries as well for Tuskegee, not listed here because a lot of no gains on those plays, but trying to mix that as much as they can in terms of the different running backs in the ball game. But what's sticking out to me, though, is a quarterback comparison at this point, too, in terms of Beal's performance, 9 of 18 with the 1 interception for 127 yards. And you were referencing in last weekend's ball game that you'd like to see him get his completion percentage up closer to 60, if not above that.
You need to get out of my head because that's exactly where I was going, because Beal, right at around 50% last year, 9 of 18 tonight with 2 balls that could have easily been intercepted. He's got to improve on his, what I'm going to call subtle accuracy. He's gotten open receivers, but he's just not getting the ball to receivers in rhythm.
We'll see what kinds of additional adjustments Tuskegee will make at the break as we get set to go to the second half of football. Tuskegee will be kicking it away, and Marauders will have it first crack to get us going second half.
Expect Central State to see if they can get their running game going as they did late in the first quarter. They've got backs who can break the long runs. Tuskegee's going to have to be mindful of their gaps up front.
Gardner and Smith stand deep as Ryans gets set to get us going in the second half once HBCU Go is back from its commercial break. Now Ryans with a first ball. Also tried one from 52 yards away, not able to convert on that one. But Larkin just a steady presence for Tuskegee, always reliable points on the point afters. Trying to make good on his preseason prediction as all SIAC team. Was all SIAC last year. Trying to do the same here. Set to begin second half action now. And with the kick, another line drive kick over the head of the return men and into the end. So the Marauders of Central State will come out from the 25 to start this second half. And for them, in that first half of play, Tyson Hill at 50% completion too, 5 of 10 for him with just 46 yards. And Central State in that first half of play, 25 plays for just a total of 87 yards compared to the 32 efforts by Tuskegee at 167 yards in the first half. Line of scrimmage 25. Marauders go right to left in this third period. They try to go at the sideline and bounced out of bounds on a carry there after a pickup about maybe a yard on the play. That was Jaden Bossy. Of note for the Marauders of Central State, Quentin Campbell Caldwell now in at quarterback, the junior from Long Beach, California. And he was slated to start last weekend for Central State in their open. Instead, it was Hill, and now in the second half, Campbell, Caldwell in there calling the signals to start the second. Tuskegee 4 in the box. Flush offense for Central State. Pass out in flats and underthrown, trying to get it there at the corner to Latrell Snow. And Campbell Caldwell a little bit off on that pass coming off the bench in the second half.
I like your call on 4 on the box just at the snap. Devon Irving for Tuskegee, linebacker, was up, adding to another player, which gave them a 6 on the box look right before the snap. So as we've seen the defensive coordinator, O.C. Williams, show a lot of different fronts and variations off those fronts.
That'll bring 3rd and 10 now for Central State. Golden Tigers defensively looking for a quick 3-and-out by the Marauders. Campbell slides to his left, fires upfield off balance, and the catch made in stride, though, at the 48-yard line on the Tuskegee end of the field.
Working against Michael King of Tuskegee, Nicholas Smith made a great catch at the 45-yard line. It seems like it's going to be brought back as there's a flag right at the 17-yard line.
Scrambling to his left was Campbell Caldwell, and he's a right-handed thrower and may have gotten some help with a hold call there to get him free to throw that football down the field. No, they're going back the other way. Looks like they're going to mark it off on the spot of the catch.
It's interesting. Both units retreated to the original line of scrimmage, and lo and behold, the surprise call of the night, Central State has the ball at the 44-yard line of Tuskegee.
I guess what they did was pick that flag up. That's what they did. So they mark it on the catch last at the 44. Central State in the red zone once in that first half of play. First possession here, the second half, they are at the 44 of Tuskegee. Campbell Caldwell. Bring a man in motion. Now back to the other side goes Hogan. They dump it out and trying to get it out in the flats right side toward Hogan, but thrown incomplete.
Hogan had some space looking back to his quarterback about 3 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. Ball was just thrown low and outside. That was actually fortunate for Central State that it was a bad throw because Tuskegee had 2 defenders in the neighborhood.
Incomplete pass. Remains 2nd and 10 now from the 44. Campbell Caldwell quickly handoff left side, short side of the field. Bossy looking for space, none there. They push him out of bounds. That'll bring up a 3rd down for Central State.
Michael McGuire for Tuskegee. Defensive back made an excellent play on the corner, snuffing that play out before it could get started. Flag directly at midfield. We'll sort this one out.
Yeah, they came to the short side of the field on that play, too. Not a whole lot of real estate to work with to begin that play. That'll go against Central State. Marauders penalized in that first half of play 5 times for 55 yards. And we get one here early in the second half. Campbell Caldwell clears everybody out now, alone in the backfield in the shotgun. Here comes the pressure at the corner. He'll step up. He's got a lot of real estate right side. Fires on the run, though, instead. Threw it back over the interior, and a catch made there at the 30-yard line. So nicely done by Campbell Caldwell on that to find a man downfield. That was Jamar Richardson, the sophomore.
This is a game in search of an offensive rhythm. Both teams struggling. This is the best sequence that Central State has had this entire game outside of that short burst they had at the end of the first quarter.
Nice call. You're right. That's the sense of this ball game. Everybody's trying to find a way here, although the lights are on. 1st and 10 after the catch by Richardson at the 31. On the ground, they keep it, but wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Good defensive surge by Tuskegee up front. They wrapped up Bossy right at the point of him taking the handoff from Campbell Caldwell. Loss of yard on the play.
Charles, it feels like every time either team breaks off a big play, it's followed by a play that just they'd rather have back.
That one they do. They lose a yard on the play there. Tuskegee just ready on that one. Good surge. They saw Bossy all the way on that handoff. 2nd down 11 from the 32. Campbell Caldwell steps up, rolls to his left, steps back, fires, and got a man just off his fingertips and incomplete.
Pass was intended for Kamari Adams, big sophomore receiver for Central State, who was breaking down right at the 10-yard line of Tuskegee. Ball again in his area, but he's turning back for it. A difficult catch, to be sure. Adams with a 31-yard catch for the Marauders in their season opener against Kentucky State. You're right there. Slightly better thrown ball, and that's a big catch for them at his hands again. Instead, it goes incomplete. It's 3rd down 11. $11:14 left here, third quarter of action. Snap. Campbell Caldwell. And got it downfield, and the pass goes incomplete. Trying to get it to Nicholas Smith. Good coverage by TU downfield. So they miss on that attempt downfield, and they will have to punt this football away. Central State going to have to settle on field position instead of any points here. They will bring on Jaden Edwards to punt it. I think Tuskegee's going to take a timeout here. Yeah, they'll take it with 11 minutes left in the third and leading it 10-0 over the Marauders of Central State. So Tuskegee defensively seems to trying to at least holding off the Marauders from scoring when they got it on the Tuskegee end of the field. A couple of big plays by them to get it down there, but their offense just kind of stalling once they got down. It's a strange ball game, Charles, from the standpoint that it's only a 10-0 lead for Tuskegee. This game is one big play away, either way, from Tuskegee jumping out or Central State from making it a much tighter ball game than it should be. Both teams have got to be kicking themselves for the opportunities they've had so far. And, you know, you referenced this in the pregame that when they played last year, the first half was a real close ball game. Tuskegee was able to collect itself in that second half and got a win that on paper looked very strong at 30-14. But that ball game was a lot closer than that score indicates. And right now, if Tuskegee can kind of take advantage of some momentum, if they can find it here in the third, they can get some separation. Well, the key thing for the Tuskegee coaches, especially on offense, is how much patience they want to go with this offense running the way it is. I wouldn't be surprised, if not at quarterback, that you saw some changes in the players that are on the field. We saw in that second half of the Red-Tailed Classic last weekend that there were some changes in terms of the offensive approach for Tuskegee. Don't think there's really anything wrong with the approach in this ball game. It's just been an issue of execution in terms of making that offense flow, because if you take away some of those passes that were dropped in this first half of play, you get your momentum and your rhythm kind of set in that offense, and that's what you got to prevent is bring yourself. And I can't help but think that once Tuskegee, and again, I've said this before, once Tuskegee gets into a rhythm on offense, you want to, instead of slowing down the pace, you want to go more up-tempo. The fact that they call the plays from the sideline and have this sequence where they do a double take on plays, if Tuskegee gets in a rhythm, get the play in on the first call, get to the line of scrimmage, and run it. They lead it 10-0, 11:08 left in the third. Crimson Piper marching band still playing far side under the shed. It doesn't seem like very many students have left park at all. If anything, people are still coming in, because I would describe this as standing room only on the shed side. You see people on the hillside adjacent to the shed. Now, it's not as populated as it might be on a homecoming, but if you look at the end zone area, sure, there is a crowd there, and on the near side in the alumni section, it's 3/4 full. So we have a capacity crowd given the overflow status of the fans that just want to view the game. Indeed, you're right. And we should reference, as the timeout continues, that this is kind of a test case, if you will, for homecoming, because of what Tuskegee experienced in terms of parking at homecoming last year. They didn't let anybody on campus in terms of vehicles this time around, trying to get the kind of a
test, if you will, see how it's going to play out when the crowd is even double this size.
Well, I know one thing. When I drove up, there were 3 guards at the gate, the side gate behind the press box, not one.
After the timeout now, Marauders from the 32-yard line set to punt the football away. Edwards, 3-step, pooches it right side. See if he turns it over, and he goes back upfield, back near the initial line of scrimmage. Boy, he may get about a yard credit for that punt after it's all said and done.
You would have been better off running a fourth down play with that punt.
Sure. I think that's going to be about where they started on the play. Tried to pooch it right side, and it floated in the air, but it was turning backwards. And once it hit at about the 15, it just ran right back upfield. So all they got to do with the sticks is just turn it the other way.
Sometimes it's get a little too cute with trying to, as you would call, pooch that ball to the near sideline or far sideline. That time, nothing gained by Central State.
So the Golden Tigers will take it over from the 31. Bill sends a man in motion. They'll keep it on the ground. Just back to the line of scrimmage on that carry for Tuskegee. Not a whole lot ahead on that play. Marauders tie things up on the inside. Carry for Tuskegee that time on the inside was Zena Malba. Zena with his first carry of the ball game. And this is what we saw last weekend. Zena Malba getting inserted into the lineup. Now we saw some switching of the running backs last weekend, and that run enabled Tuskegee to start flexing its passing muscle as well. Malba got 2 on that play. Bill, short drop. Here comes pressure. They're trying to set a screen. They throw it up top, and that one's blown up by the Marauder defense.
One thing you notice about Central State, Charles, they're very sure tacklers. We haven't seen many one-on-one situations where the Tuskegee runners have been able to evade Central State, and as a result, here comes another 3rd and long call.
Screen was on Rouser, but as you referenced, Central State right on top of it. And Bill and Tuskegee face 3rd and 12. We'll start with Hall, Wilson, and a slot down at the bottom, which is to the right of the quarterback as Tuskegee goes left to right. Bill flushed right side, eludes one would-be tackler. Flag coming in behind that play. Bill forced to fire it toward the sideline and incomplete. He took a shot out of bounds, but we'll check the flag. That's likely going to be a hold on Tuskegee.
It's fortunate that Beal is 6'5", 220, because he took a lick on the sideline as he's rolling to try to make that pass. Incomplete, but there was a flag as the officials are discussing it right at the 25-yard line.
And remember last weekend, now Bill took that shot and he went down. And it will be against the offense holding against Tuskegee. Came back into that ball game last weekend with a wrap just above his left knee. I was talking to Coach James earlier in the week. I was asking him, well, how's Raekwon doing? He says, the knee's fine. Now there's something with his foot. So he said, well, what happened, Raekwon? Did it go from your knee to your foot? But he seems to be okay after taking a shot there, as you referenced.
Well, what's not okay is the young offensive line of Tuskegee on that right side, because Raekwon Beal was running for his life under heavy pressure. And they've seen 2 holding calls so far tonight.
So Tuskegee, for only the 2nd time to punt it, they come with pressure. And they get it away. Brent got it away, got it turned upfield, go out of bounds near the 31-yard line. And Central State will have the football there. We're down to 9:07 left in the 3rd.
This game has the mood and tempo. They're hanging for someone to grab it. Neither team has been able to reach out and just pick that fruit that's laying right in front of them. Now, Central State will have the football at the 32-yard line. This is prime opportunity for them to get something going.
Sure. You're right. You let a team hang around long enough, and you're not getting your rhythm, they'll find a way to find theirs and can steal it right away from you.
That's a great description. It's almost like Tuskegee is daring Central State to do something by not playing solid football themselves. Now, on the other end, Central State has really not been able to run the football consistency or control the time of possession. So Tuskegee's defense is fairly rested.
Nice point on that. You're right. They just really haven't helped themselves in terms of complete rhythm on both with the run and pass. Timeout on the field. Tuskegee leading it over the Marauders 10-0 here at Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium on the first ball game at night in the history of Tuskegee. Let's take a break here on GTSN.
Broadcast coverage of Golden Tigers athletics is brought to you by the following. The U.S. Coast Guard, always ready. Booster Digital Displays, dedicated to providing high-quality, affordable LED displays with exceptional service. Alabama Power, for the service of Alabama. TNT Fireworks, celebrating more than 100 years of America's #1 best-selling brand of fireworks. Yellowwood, a better backyard awaits. Home Depot, how doers get more done. Utilities Board of Tuskegee, purpose, progress, people. Coca-Cola, enjoy the moment with a Coca-Cola. Tuskegee Federal Credit Union, serving the people of Tuskegee and the surrounding community since 1938. TLAT Media, step by step, TLAT Media makes your business grow. And by Advertising Solutions, from concept to conversion, we are your advertising solution.
Hello, Tuskegee Nation. I'm Dr. Mark Brown, President and CEO of Tuskegee University. This is our First Lady, Miss Gwendolyn Jackson Brown. We are so excited about the Golden Tiger Sports Network and this year's season. TU, you know.
Yeah, I know. At Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium after the timeout, Central State takes over the football from the 32-yard line, their own. And Tuskegee leads at 10-0. Marauders switching up quarterbacks to start this second half of play. Quinton Campbell, Caldwell calling the signals now. Ball fake. Caldwell drops in the pocket. Fires across the middle. Good pass by him and a good catch there near the 43-yard line on a crossing route. Found Latrell Snow en route, the senior from Canton, and Campbell Caldwell seemingly a little bit more crisp on his passes than what we saw from Hill.
Michael McGuire of Tuskegee was right there in coverage, but an excellent throw in double coverage. First down, Central State.
And to your point, they don't get a mini drive going here. They pick up that first. Bring a man in motion, Tuskegee. Four front, now they send the backer. Pass at the corner in the flats near the 45, and that one thrown out of the reach this time of Latrell Snow.
Campbell Caldwell, very decisive on his throws. Not a lot of wasted motion. And if it's not there, he's going to run it. But that time, a little bit low and outside. It's interesting that the substitute quarterback has done as adequate a job as their starter in running this offense.
Yeah, absolutely, so far. We're at 8:25 left in the third. Campbell Caldwell in shotgun. He'll take the snap, looks upfield, as you referenced, very deliberate about his look upfield, slings it out at the sideline, and the catch is made there by Corey Burnett Jr., the senior from Centerville, Ohio.
Excellent arm strength to get that ball to the sideline for the completion. Now, this is a third down and about 4 to go. I would put a star next to this. It's one of the more important plays for Central State on offense right at midfield.
We're down to 7:55 left in the third. TU with a 10-0 lead. Second ball game of the season for both squads. Tuskegee looking to go 2-0 on the campaign, looking for their first conference win of the season. Best at Winston-Salem last weekend in the Red Tails Classic. And Central State here. Campbell Caldwell with the snap. Here comes the pressure, turns it back to the defense. Flag coming in at the back of that play. Tuskegee will get credit for the sack, but we'll check the flag. A lot of traffic in there.
Just when I was singing his praises,
Sure.
they have a breakdown up front. Caldwell is stopped for about a 7-yard loss.
Caldwell did something there you don't often see. Kind of turned his back to the defense. It's like, I give up. Don't tackle me.
And
right?
they're victimized by a holding call, but give credit to Tuskegee for bringing excellent pressure straight up the middle on the quarterback.
Sure. So the Marauders will have to punt the football away. Good defensive work there by Tuskegee to quell what you referenced could have been just a little mini run by Central State. Picked up an initial down. Got one more after that, but Tuskegee weathers the storm, and Edwards will punt it away. E.J. Hall back deep. So if he can't get something going on special teams, trying to kick it away from him. Good kick there by Edwards. Fair catch called for at the 27-yard line. And Tuskegee's offense back out onto the football field. E.J. Hall, they are just so high on him in terms of his potential at Tuskegee. A native of Tuskegee, chose to start his college play at Troy University and now back at home. He's somebody that they're happy to have with on the roster, and they know that they're going to get good results from him being there.
Tuskegee on this drive, Charles, if they can pick up 3 first downs, I'm going to say that's the magic number. They can pick up 3 first downs, they'll win this ball game. You don't want to have a 3 and out or a short series that gives the ball right back to Central State.
I hear your point. You want to make a statement here and get you some separation on that scoreboard as well.
Exactly.
You need it 10-0, but you can't sit on that, that's for sure, because you see how Tuskegee got its 10. It's not difficult to do.
10-0 is just an uncomfortable feeling.
Sure.
Midway through the third quarter. And especially the way Beal has been nearly intercepted twice in this ball game. You got to be thinking in the back of your mind, the last thing Tuskegee wants on offense is any kind of turnover.
Already had one with Bill on that pick early on. No fumbles at this point in the season. Certainly that's a good mark for Tuskegee. But this possession is about, as you referenced, clock management and moving the football down the field.
And there are 2 things at play, Charles. Not just the potential points that would come off a turnover, but the momentum switch. Both of these teams just seem to be sleepwalking through this ball game. If either team catches fire, gets emotionally into this ball game and invested in it, that's going to be the team that wins.
12th meeting between these teams. Tuskegee leads the series 10-1. Referenced in our pregame comments that Tuskegee right now on a 5-game win streak dating back to the latter half of 2024. And looking to keep that streak alive here against the Marauders of Central State, which were part of those 5 wins from last season, the 4 from last year coming into the start of this. So set to resume action now as Tuskegee got it over on the punt. And the band from Central State continuing to play as Tuskegee comes to the line of scrimmage. Johnny Morris back in there at running back for TU now. And the referee talking to Raekwon Bill. And the Tuskegee students under the shed, boy, they have been rocking since we got here. And just steady at it right now. They have a good time at these football games, as they should. Set to resume play now. Marauders shifting people up front defensively. It's Bill looking to the sideline. 6:58 left in the third. Bill hand off to Morris. Morris quickly up the middle, knocked off his feet at the 31-yard line, but that comes after he picked up 5 in the middle on just a quick hitter.
Saving tackle by Bishop Blakey, linebacker for Central State. Tuskegee back up to the line in a hurry.
Let's see if they actually go in a hurry this time, though. Blakey, 9 tackles, 1 tackle for loss last weekend in Central State's effort against Kentucky State. And that's the first time we've called his name tonight. 2nd and 5 after the run by Morris up the middle. Bill Morris. Johnny turns his back to the defense, lunges ahead near the 35, so he'll be about a yard shy of the marker and bringing up a 3rd down situation for Tuskegee.
Another play to put a pin in for Tuskegee this time, a 3rd and short.
See if they keep it in between the tackles on this play. The Bill is trying to inform the line of scrimmage about a changed play coming in from the sideline. 3rd down. Cooper in motion. Bill going to go up top. Got a one-on-one. Hall there with the catch over the shoulder. It's a leg race. Hall steps out of the defense, and he'll walk it in for the TU touchdown.
Just in time, just as TU band is cranking up ball and parlay, Tuskegee with the long pass play downfield scored A.J. Hall.
Flag coming in at the back of that play, likely a celebration violation there by Tuskegee. But just on cue, we were talking about A.J. Hall and his importance to this program. He got on a 3rd and short mark. That's what really floors me. They went up top, took a chance on it. Hall beat the defense down the sideline. So gutsy call there by Harry Williams. And they got what they needed, the one-on-one, and Hall just outran the defense.
I like the way Hall not only made the catch, but he made that last tackle, stepping right through it for the extra 15 yards all the way to the end zone.
Beautiful thing to see there. Bill with a perfectly thrown ball that time. Hall with the catch down the sideline in stride. And TU gets that much-needed score, just as you were referencing. Ryan with the point after, and Larkin's on target with that. And Tuskegee with 5:24 remaining in the 3rd period. They notch another touchdown. They lead at 17-0 over the Marauders of Central State. Nice pass from Bill. Great catch and run by E.J. Hall. More after this time out.
I'm Anthony Holloman, Commissioner of the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, and this is the Golden Tiger Sports Network.
C-SPY is a prestigious scholarship, a world-class leadership training program, and a ticket to a rewarding career as an officer in the United States Coast Guard. C-SPY is an opportunity for students attending minority-serving institutions that goes beyond paying for 2 years of tuition and other college expenses. Once accepted, you'll be a member of the Coast Guard, earning a full-time salary, plus medical benefits and a housing allowance. While continuing your full-time studies, you'll get to learn about life in the Coast Guard firsthand. You'll quickly find that the Coast Guard is unique from the other military branches. It's a different kind of service, with crews of like-minded people who perform life-saving missions every day and protect our environment and communities. If you're ready to step up as a leader and help us make the world a better place, then visit gocoastguard.com/CSPI to learn more or talk to a recruiter.
Pass from Raekwon Bill to E.J. Hall.
Directly below us, see the players for Central State on the bench consoling Travis McNeil, who gave up that big play to E.J. Hall of Tuskegee, which could be a game changer. Hall, sprinting full speed, broke the coverage, and with this 17-0 lead, Tuskegee's defense now can start to be a little bit more aggressive.
Nice call on that. And all predicated by what you were talking about. Where this game was taking shape was it just going to go back and forth, but Tuskegee needed to do something definitive. And on a 3rd and less than a yard, they go up top down the sideline. So they lead at 17-0, and after the timeout, set to bring that defense back out there. Ryan set to kick it. And Larkin with another deep kick over the return man into the end zone. Larkin has just really done an outstanding job. A flag coming in after that kick. Just not even creating the possibility of something special for Central State on the kickoffs with the deep kicks into the end zone.
Things are beginning a little feisty on special teams. That time, Marcus Hawthorne of Tuskegee got tangled up right in front of the Central State bench. There was a flag throw, and they're discussing it right now at about the 25-yard line to sort this out. Special teams for Tuskegee has been decent, but this would be not a fortunate place to have a penalty called against special teams coming off the heels of that beautiful touchdown throw.
Yeah, we saw something similar to that in the Winston-Salem game where a player right in front of the officials just made a needless or mindless infraction that hurt Tuskegee at the moment. But this time it looks like it's going to be marked off against the Marauders. They'll push them inside the 15-yard line. They'll start this drive from their own 12. First time under the lights here at Tuskegee University for Tuskegee football. This concept about the lights being even a thought goes far way back to the early years of Cleve Abbott as the head coach at Tuskegee, way back in the early 20s, knowing that they needed lights. At the corner now, good run there and upfield on the turn is Bossy. Bossy had one Tuskegee defender trying to nip his legs from under him on an arm shoestring tackle, but he stepped out of that, got positive yardage close to the first down marker.
Bossy's a tough player to bring down. He only goes 5'8", but shows a lot of ruggedness on contact.
Yeah. Haven't really seen a lot of Devontae Young in this ball game, but they both have that kind of similar style in terms of how they run the football. But Bossy on that play showed exactly what you're talking about. Tough run by him. Picked up enough for the Marauder first down. 4:40 remains, third quarter. Marauders going right to left on your listening device as Campbell Caldwell hands it off on the inside, and Tuskegee shuts that play down right away.
You can see one of the assistants for Central State right before that ball was snapped. One of the players was lined up on the wrong side of the field. He's running towards the line of scrimmage, got the player lined up correctly, but Tuskegee made the play anyway.
Despite our best efforts, huh? Loss of about 3 on that play. Just that good surge up front. So Tuskegee there on that defensive play, strong indication that they were already in that backfield at the time that handoff took place. Based upon the amount of yardage that was left, they'd never even, Marauders that is, never got even ahead of steam going forward with it. Second down and 13. Campbell Caldwell, shotgun. Tuskegee cheating at the linebackers. He'll look it off, fires right side, got a man out in the flats, but he's wrapped up right away. Good defensive coverage by Tuskegee. You can give that out at the corner as Justin Sellers makes the catch. But with that quick close, it only amounts to a 2-yard pickup.
A long throw, not much net yardage.
Sure. You will live with that all day long. O.C. Williams in that defense. That's what you play. That's how you play those passes out in the flats. You don't want to get burned trying to play it too tight, let the man turn behind you. Good, solid defensive play by the corner coming up on that play. Third down and 8 for Central State. He would love to force him in the punt after this play. Caldwell in the pocket. They'll force him right side. Now drops back, fires, and shoots it out of bounds. Incomplete. Pressure coverage up front by Tuskegee just forced him. He didn't get a chance to even plant his feet before he was retreating toward the sideline.
At the last minute, it sounded like one of the officials had his mic turned on accidentally. It's a flag down at about the 13-yard line.
So that one going against Central State as well. They are racking up the penalties now in the second half of play. So they will bring on the punter, Jaden Edwards, to punt it once again.
You know, both these states, Alabama and Ohio, pride themselves in their football talent base. Interesting matchup from the standpoint. So far, Tuskegee, with this 17-0 lead, is showing the state well.
Indeed. Hall calls for the fair catch at the 46-yard line. And, you know, you're talking about both of these states, and rightfully so, because that kind of gets us into a little brief conversation about coaching legends, certainly here for Tuskegee with Cleve Abbott and his impact on this program, but you can go even further in Tuskegee coaching with Willie Slater. He can coach Reginald Ruffin just for the short time he was here in terms of the legacy of the coaching. But when you start talking about Central State, there's one name that comes to the very, very top as it relates to coaching. That's Billy Joe. He won an inordinate number of national titles at Central State at the NAIA level when he was a coach there.
Billy Joe also might lead coaches in using 4-syllable words as well.
Oh, no doubt. The smartest coach you know, too, right? He could be blessing you out, and you wouldn't even know it. Tuskegee, after they take it over on the punt, they'll work it up the middle of the field on a carry. Maybe about a yard on that pickup, not much more there. They unpile it on the inside.
We were fortunate enough to cover Billy Joe when he was at Florida A&M, and I remember clearly him describing a player as being ebullient. I had to look that one up.
Oh, yeah. That's Arnaud Sellers on the carry for Tuskegee. Yeah, he had a vocabulary that was just ever expansive. Doing a lot of writing now in his retirement age. Still with heavy influence on young individuals. Bill going, got a man across the middle, going up and making the catch for Tuskegee. Good aerobatic catch there for Tuskegee to get it down the field. Catch was made by Hardy.
Give credit to Beal. He pump faked, appearing to allow his receiver to clear just a half second longer. Made a great throw.
He'll fire again, this time out in the flats at the sideline. Catch made there. And out of bounds after the catch is Rashad Wilson Jr.
All of a sudden, Beal is delivering the ball with confidence and in rhythm.
Same thing we saw last weekend. You know, after the intermission, second half, see whatever it is he talked to him about at halftime, he seems to ingest it and come out with a different look in the second half.
Due to the rainstorm, players only had about a 45-minute warm-up. Maybe Beal just needs to warm up longer.
I'll give you that, too. That's a nice call. Right on the inside, not so nice a call there. Stuffed up on the inside of that play. The carry that time by Sellers. Sellers not able to elude that for any positive yards. May have lost one on that one. We're under a minute remaining in the third. Marauders shuffle players in and out of there.
This is a curious third down call for Tuskegee.
Less than a yard to go for the first. We saw them go up top in that situation on the last drive for a touchdown. Likely two-down territory for them anyway here if they do try to go up top and they get it incomplete. They'll go on the ground instead. Sellers got to that linebacking wave of the Marauder defense, and that's enough for the TU first down.
Last formation, E.J. Hall was lined up wide to the right. He was the player that made touchdown delivery. Wouldn't be surprised to see Hall be a focus on this first down call.
1st and 10 from the 24. Whistles before this 1st and 10 play. Timeout called. No, I'm sorry. That'll take us to the end of the third period. So we get set to go to the fourth here. Tuskegee under the lights here at Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium, leading at 17-0 over the Marauders of Central State. We'll take a break and bring in the final quarter here on GTSN.
Hey, Golden Tiger fans. Arthur A.J. Woodson here, class of 2010, current president for the New York Tuskegee Alumni Association, encouraging all other alumni chapters to sign up for this year's Golden Tiger Sports Network Alumni Chapter Challenge, grand prize being a deluxe tailgate experience being held at this year's homecoming. Sign your chapters up now so that you can be a part of the weekly score predictions, trivia during the game, and even have a live check-in during the game on the GTSN if your chapter is hosting a watch party. So sign up and be a part of this year's Alumni Chapter Challenge.
Hey, are you fixing the power?
Yep, I'm gonna get the lights back on.
Yeah, my power went out and I have to start level 14 all over again in our game. Yeah, why didn't mine go out?
Well, we have this technology that can stop an outage in its tracks.
Why?
So less people will be affected during the outage.
Why?
So you can make the level 15?
Come on, Brian. Let's go to your house and keep playing.
Good luck, guys.
Back live here at Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium. We're headed into the fourth quarter. Tuskegee, the first conference ball game of the season. First home ball game of the season. They lead at 17-0 over Central State. Charles Ward, Mark Lassiter here with the call. Glad you could join us for GTSN's coverage.
Charles, you understand that I have to hold myself back from trying to second-guess coaches. But if I were head coach of Tuskegee right now with this first down call on the doorstep of the red zone, it's a perfect opportunity. If you want to put this game away, take a first down shot into the end zone.
Yep. Yeah, no doubt about it. You're on 1st and 10, just outside the red. Why not? You got a sequence of downs left after that to punch it in. Still an opportunity just to make a statement.
You're already within field goal range.
Now,
a touchdown would look very nice going up 24-0.
Now, the opposite side of that, not necessarily the opposite side, but the method in which you get this touchdown could be very different. We have not seen Tuskegee stick one in on the ground in this football game either now. It would be a nice little testament of confidence for that offense if they could run it.
Great call.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying going deep on all 4 downs. Take the shot, then
Then
see if
go
you
back
can pick it up on the ground game.
Yep, I got you. Yeah. Couple of first downs before you get the touchdown here will bode even better for you. You'll run a little bit more time off clock. And you can make a statement about that young side of the line, too. If you can get them, run something behind them and get some positive things going over there.
That's an excellent call.
After the timeout, Marauders make it back out onto the football field. Tuskegee coming back as well on a 1st and 10. Just underway here in the fourth. Sellers joins Bill in the backfield. Bill set to go after 3. Tuskegee right now. 4 yards. That's for that quarter. They go on the ground, and not much happening there. They have lost a yard there as they try to go right on the inside.
That's a slow developing play as they're going with a delayed draw. If you're going to run the football this close to the end zone, go with the quick hitter.
Lost 2 on that play. Into the third quarter action, Tuskegee 11 plays, 104 yards in that third quarter. It's 52 yards total offense for the Marauders of Central State. And Tuskegee, that time, surprisingly enough, Mark, that time of possession in the third favored the Marauders of Central State. They had it for almost 9 minutes plus in that third quarter of play.
Central State, please refrain from playing on the Tuskegee.
Space at the corner, wrapped up and slung down behind the line of scrimmage. Big defensive effort there by Trayshawn Sanders, the freshman from Xenia, Ohio. From that metropolis of Xenia, just outside of Wilberforce. And he makes a stop. Another loss on the play there for Tuskegee. So to your point, last, probably better served by going up top. We haven't seen much on the last two run plays, right? Except for negative yards. So see if Tuskegee can regroup here with Bill setting in the pistol with Sellers joining him in the backfield. We'll have three receivers, two hit right. Tuskegee going right to left in this final frame.
Central State is finally wised up to Tuskegee trying to run that hard count off the hand slap.
They only have three up front here. Definitely expecting Tuskegee to toss the football here. Bill obliges in the pocket, throws it underneath. Got it to Sellers, tries to elude one defender, but gang tackled there by Central State. Got it back to the initial line of scrimmage, and that's it. So likely to see Larkin Ryans come here to try a field goal.
3 plays, -1 yard.
Okay, you can go ahead and say it, Johnny. I rest my case, right? So Larkin will be trying a 40-yarder from here for Tuskegee, trying to convert on his second field goal of the football game. Good clean snap. Larkin with the kick, got plenty of distance on it, and pushes it through for Tuskegee. So they don't get the touchdown. They do get a score here. They extend their lead to 20-0. Right now, they match their scoring output from last weekend at 20 with 13:02 remaining. They lead the Marauders of Central State. On the changeover, we'll take a timeout. More football just ahead on GTSN.
This is Emmanuel Wilson, running back from the Green Bay Packers, and this is the Golden Tiger Sports Network.
And we arrive here on the campus of Tuskegee University, Saturday evening, and football action is going on because this is the first time that Tuskegee has had a night game with the new lights installed here at Tuskegee University through their partnership with the Alabama Power. And Tuskegee lit from this point on as it relates to the stadium. Glad you could join us on this historic night here at Tuskegee. And it was called for by President Brown and Athletics Director Reginald Ruffin. Let's turn this thing into a mini homecoming. And the TU faithfuls, well, not only students, but the alums have abided by that. They showed up well here for this ball game.
They've got to be happy with the turnout and even happier with the score. Playing at night, second game of the year, you know, A.D. Ruffin, who has invested so much time and energy in this program, there's only one thing that matters in his column. That's just win, baby.
Sure. Tuskegee already the standard and slowly evolving even beyond that. That is the predicate here at the school, is that everything we do, we try to set a standard. And right now, Tuskegee, in terms of football, leading at 20-0. 13:02 remaining in this ball game, setting a standard thus far. Trying to make it 2 wins in a row as they get set to meet FCS opponent, the Tigers of Jackson State, next weekend. Kick by Ryans, another one into the end zone. And the Marauders will come out from the 25-yard line once again. So you're with Tony Carter, the head coach of the Marauders of Central State. You're falling further behind now, 20-0. At some point, they got to be thinking about some kind of wins that they can get on this football field. If not in terms of winning the ball games, do some things right to at least come away with some positives out of this contest.
One thing to watch for both teams is how much yardage they'll be able to pick up on first down. This first down call is really pivotal for Central State.
Campbell Caldwell took over the signal calling in the second half for Coach Carter and the Marauders from their own 25. Low snap, but he handles. He'll take a drop. Shoots it out in the flats. Catch made at the corner and turning the corner for the Marauders now. Good grab and up the field run by Quentin Johnson after the catch. And Johnson got it up near the 40-yard line for the Marauders of Central State.
So the standard for a first down pickup, Central State had to have, they wanted at least 5. What they got was 15. So their offense drives off to a great start.
At the 41. First catch of the ball game for the wide-out Quentin Johnson.
Now the question is, can they sustain it?
Yeah, that's exactly what's been the issue all game long for them. Another flats on a one-knee catch made there at the 46-yard line. That's a good positive grab for a catch there by Kamari Adams. So that's his second catch of the ball game. And that's a good first down pickup for them. Got 5 on that catch.
After that play, you can see Kimber of Tuskegee flexing his left shoulder as if he might have done some damage to it. He's looking to the sideline, both hands on hips, but Kimber looking a little bit fragile. Start this next play.
Second team all-conference player for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. Kimber, 7 tackle weekend against Winston-Salem. Flags at the line of scrimmage. Likely going to be up against Central State again. And if it is against them, Mark, is to the point that you're driving right now. Good first down sequence on the first play after they got the football back. Got another good run after that, or catch and run. And now here they come with a penalty, just about to kill all the effort they put into it so far.
The Marauders take it and will give it away.
Yeah. You don't want to do that to yourself. In addition to being called a schizophrenic, you're hurting your chances of getting down the field. They'll go on the ground, slipping on the surface now, trying to turn it upfield is Devontae Young, but the sophomore running back from Dayton can't find its footing fully and falls about 2 yards shy of the line of scrimmage.
Young was going east-west, trying to probe the left side of the Tuskegee front. As you mentioned, as he's trying to cut, both feet seem to slip. He just goes down for a 2-yard loss.
So line of scrimmage to 40 now, and we're pushing our way to under 11 minutes left with 10:50 remaining in the contest. Caldwell steps up in the pocket, felt the pressure, and gets sacked there at the 35-yard line. Good defensive effort there by the Tuskegee. Coming in at the end of that play for the Golden Tigers was Emmanuel Cannon. So Cannon, with that heavy pursuit on the inside, gets the sack. Cannon with a good ball game last weekend against Winston-Salem. And a good standstill play there by him to get the sack. A couple of blockers in front of him shedded those extremely well. Edwards to kick. And Hall stands deep. And a line drive may have a return here. Hall on the squeeze at the 35. Got some momentum. Headed right side. Hall includes one tackler at midfield. Hall with a blocker in front of him. EJ turns it on inside the 30-yard line. Finally pulled down near the 22 on a burst on the punt return by EJ Hall.
Hall, acceleration. Really special.
Ran out of that defensive coverage at about the 40-yard line. Got some good blocking the wall that sprung him right side. And as you referenced, got downfield, outran a couple of defenders there. And a spark for Hall and Tuskegee on special teams. Already on a 66-yard scoring touchdown pass from Bill. Now Hall trying to make himself in contention for SIAC Player of the Week with another nice return on special teams.
Last player up for Central State, linebacker Jalen Johnson down at the 30-yard line being helped off by 2 of the assistant trainers for the Marauders.
So Hall with that big return, Tuskegee right in business again to maybe notch another score here. They lead it 20-0. Reminder, we're in Jackson, Mississippi on Saturday. It's 2 p.m. kick Is it called Veterans Stadium there in Jackson?
It is Veterans Memorial Stadium. With a capacity of about 50,000 people. Jackson State has not drawn as well as they had hoped so far this year. We'll see what the turnout is next week.
I believe that's going to be their first home ball game when we come over the next weekend. So just like we've seen here tonight at Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium, fans coming out for this first home ball game of the season. Expect the same for Jackson State when we come in on Saturday. Talking to Coach James about it during the course of the week, he knows that it's a big ball game for Tuskegee. Concerned about the things you referenced early on about how they come out of it, but also not shying away from the challenge of seeing what they can do with that FCS school. So the injured Marauder coming to the sideline, as you referenced, Johnson. Timeout on the field.
Johnson went directly to the bench and took a seat. Wasn't getting any medical attention, but it seemed to be favoring his right leg as he's coming to the sideline. I don't see him seated on the bench now, so that's a good sign that he's back up. Actually, he's near the huddle that is on the field at about the 30-yard line.
A chance for us to remind you all that Tuskegee volleyball action coming your way on Monday night from Chappie James Arena, where the Lady Tigers of Tuskegee will host the Tigers of Stillman in our first volleyball home contest of the season. We'll have that coverage for you on GTSN. Coach Pam Perkins, new slate of recruits coming in. Met some of those in our pregame show with Charles McNeil. We'll see how things fare for them on Monday as they unroll the volleyball campaign for 2025. So looking forward to that. Make sure you plan to join us from Chappie James. So Tuskegee with a 20-0 lead. Timeout on the field, maybe coming to some of our last timeouts by HBCU Go in terms of their coverage. 9:53 left. They have been here with their coverage, setting things up. And hope you have enjoyed listening to our audio coverage here of Tuskegee football, which we'll have every week as the season unfolds. Interesting, we hadn't talked about it much, Mark, in terms of this ball game. We hadn't even really talked about it last week, but I don't think it was in play last weekend. But this is the first year in which a replay is going to be a part of ongoing conference play in the SIAC, and we're set for replays if they had come about here in tonight's ball game. But it'll be interesting to see how that gets fully incorporated into the entire conference.
Well, it's interesting that Tuskegee has probably the most intense television schedule that it's had in its history.
Sure.
It has several games on HBCU Go and on ESPNU slated for this season. So with the advent of broadcast, as we saw during the basketball season, if you've got the equipment set up for broadcast and the officials have access, it's a perfect opportunity to integrate replay.
Yeah. Still haven't gotten the full of how it goes procedurally, but from what I understand, each coach with a challenge. And as long as you continue to be right about the challenge, you keep it. Once you lose it, that's all you have is that one. And I understand that the officials are going to only be calling it for themselves if there's an issue about targeting.
Is there any exception for timeouts within 2 minutes?
Good question. On the ground, handoff left side for the Golden Tigers. Coming up after that carry. Tuskegee going with a different running back there. This time on the carry for the Golden Tigers is Leverett. Hadn't called Detzman's name all game long. Second team all-conference player for Tuskegee with his first carry of the contest. So they give it to Leverett again. Desmond left side, same result. Head down, bangs his way inside the 10, slides down near the 7-yard line, falling forward after another tough run by Desmond left side.
This is the point in the game where the body language for Central State, you can tell they're dejected at this point. 9 minutes and 12 seconds to go and counting. Tuskegee picking up the pace.
Leverett going to get it again. No ball fake. Across the middle. Touchdown pass from Bill. Bill faked it inside, got it on the inside near the goal post with the catch for Tuskegee at the base of that end zone. And coming up with the grab for TU, it was Malik Thomas. They've been targeting Thomas a couple of times in this ball game. Finally got him on a cross route, and he scores at the base of the end zone.
I like the play call. I like the decisiveness by Beal. Nothing fancy, just a simple slant route over the middle, as you mentioned, right to the middle of the end zone. Tuskegee looks very well in hand with 27-0 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they ran Everett a couple of times left side and got that defense expecting it on that ball fake to Leverett. And Bill, as you referenced, found Thomas at the back of the end zone for 6. Ryan converts on the point after, and Tuskegee extends its lead to 27-0 over the Marauders of Central State. More action ahead here on GTSN.
Broadcast coverage of Golden Tigers athletics is brought to you by the following. The U.S. Coast Guard, always ready. Booster Digital Displays, dedicated to providing high-quality, affordable LED displays with exceptional service. Alabama Power, for the service of Alabama. TNT Fireworks, celebrating more than 100 years of America's #1 best-selling brand of fireworks. Yellowwood, a better backyard awaits. Home Depot, how doers get more done. Utilities Board of Tuskegee, purpose, progress, people. Coca-Cola, enjoy the moment with a Coca-Cola. Tuskegee Federal Credit Union, serving the people of Tuskegee and the surrounding community since 1938. TLAT Media, step by step, TLAT Media makes your business grow. And by Advertising Solutions, from concept to conversion, we are your advertising solution.
Back live here, Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium on the campus of Tuskegee University. 8:57 remains now. And Tuskegee on a Bill to Thomas connection on a pass at the back of the end zone. They extend their lead to 27-0.
Central State entered this ball game never having defeated Tuskegee in this arena. And from the looks of things, that streak will continue. Really positive note. Raekwon Beal seems to be gaining confidence, and I can't help but think that as he's gotten warm, he's developed more accuracy. We did have a short pregame due to the threat of thunderstorms. There was only a 45-minute warm-up. Normally players will come out on the field hour and a half just to loosen up. They did not do that tonight. So when they came out, Tuskegee ran its offense. They ran some 11-on-11, but it was a very brief warm-up. Beal has shown some flashes that hopefully he can take into next week with his passing rhythm.
Well, I think the question, not the question, but the corner they'd like to see him turn is to turn in a better first half of football to go what he does in the second half. Because if you can get him doing a better job in that first half, his numbers are going to go through the roof, and that offense is going to be just more productive as a result.
Well, I like his arm strength also. The ball comes off Beal's hand very easy, so it's not a physical piece. It's really combining his talent, his gifts, with the ability to survey the field quickly, be decisive, and make accurate throws. He's at 50%. Hopefully his evening tonight will get him a little bit higher, but if he can become a 55% passer, that's going to be my benchmark for this year. 55 to 57%, Tuskegee's offense.
Good performance on that possession by Tuskegee. The result in a touchdown. Ryan to kick it away now to the Marauders of Central State. And another touchback on the kickback off by Larkin Ryans. So the Marauders again from the 25. So we've had obviously a solid performance by Ryan in terms of field goal kicking in this football game. Kickoffs as well.
Another footnote. When he went to the sideline, gave one of his teammates a flying high five. So Ryans, he goes about 220. Got off the ground pretty good on that high five.
Yeah. He did some work in the offseason, developed more than just muscles, that's for sure. So the Marauders now again from the 25. Caldwell, he'll snap, drops to his right, shoots it upfield. Catch going to be made at the 35-yard line. Good pass there from Caldwell, as you referenced. Very calm as Burnett on the receiving end of that catch.
You look at the sidelines. Central State's entire defense is seated. Very few players standing.
Yeah, it's been a long night for that defense. First half, the possession numbers heavily in favor of Tuskegee. Central State won the time of possession battle in the third, but that defense in the fourth has been worked. Caldwell slips on his drop. Now he'll step forward and run it at the 40. Got some speed and turns the corner at the 40. Way out of bounds near midfield, and that's a first down for Central State. You'll get a lot of that this portion of the ball game because Tuskegee now is just kind of playing back, recognizing that they're going to have to pass the ball, meaning Central State. So they're giving up a little bit of cushion on the runs.
Now, this is a pride moment for the Tuskegee defense. They'd like nothing better going to the locker room with that bagel on the scoreboard. So they're playing for pride to see if they can maintain the shutout with 7:47 remaining. Also player down for Tuskegee. Looks like Devon Irving, a linebacker, prone at about the 47-yard line. The training staff is out. They're taking a look at his left ankle, it appears.
Devon Irving, that is, transfer from Lane College into Tuskegee. And Irving kind of recruited into Tuskegee by John Carter, the linebacking coach for Tuskegee, who said this first year came from that Lane program and got Irving to come over with him. And Irving really already in that Tuskegee defense early on in the campaign.
Fortunately, he pops up and is able to walk to the sideline without assistance.
Speaking of John Carter, standing here to our right, just behind us, up in the booth coaching for Tuskegee. Glad to have him aboard on the coaching staff. Has such great enthusiasm about his role, not in terms of coaching, but what he can do for these young men in terms of turning them into quality young men outside of football play. So 1st and 10 for the Marauders. Football near midfield. Caldwell stops, pops, fires that football up in the air. Tuskegee with the pick on the play. It floated up in the air after it hit one of the receivers, and Timothy Grayson Jr. comes away with the pick, a name you called here in this football game.
Head coach Tony Carter of Central State wants a interference call. There was a flag thrown on the play. They're discussing it right at the 40-yard line. Contact, ball popped up in the air. Tuskegee makes the diving interception. We'll sort it out.
Threw that one in traffic, Caldwell did. Not sure who it hit, but it did go airborne. We might have a challenge here. We'll see how they're going to play this. No, they're decisive about that call. Going against Tuskegee's defense there. So John Carter, Tony Carter, that is, head coach of the Marauders, finally gets his way on a call and they ain't the football. So the interception by Grayson wiped off as we go to 7:20 remaining in the contest. Campbell Caldwell and the shotgun. Brings a man in motion. Low snap, but he handles. Steps up in the pocket. Fires underneath. Crossing route. Good catch, but a good banging hit there after the catch was made on the cross by Fletcher. And good defensive stop there by Tuskegee and Sean Smith. Smith, the freshman from Miami, Florida.
Sean Smith showing excellent reaction skills that time. Completion space, but Smith closed like a defensive back more than a linebacker. Makes a hit, bringing up this 2nd and long.
Kind of linebackers know they'll get in this kind of situation in the ball game where the prevent and everything is in front of you. You can close a little bit quicker, not worrying about things from behind. Out in the flat, same kind of result here. Another good open field tackle. Good defensive work by Tuskegee at the corners. My, oh my, that was a good anticipated hit there on the sideline.
Great hit on the sideline. Looks like Tuskegee's Karan Nord, defensive back. He was by himself on an island on that last tackle. Makes it, bringing up a 3rd and long. That was only about a 1-yard pickup by Central State on the completed pass.
Indeed. So the defense just knows that this is the time that they can start to feel good about their physicality in terms of plays they can make because everything's in front of them. So linebackers about 8, 9, 10 yards off the line of scrimmage, just dropping into their coverage. There again, good catch out front, but wrapped up right away. Gets real easy playing defense when you're in this kind of situation. Short of the marker on the catch. Central State, given where the ball game, probably not going to question that at all, and definitely going to go for it on 4th here.
So Central State staying on the field on offense with a 4th and a long 2 to go. Tuskegee would like nothing better than to preserve this shutout with 5 minutes remaining in this ball game.
Now you may see something special out of that Tuskegee defense on this 4th and 2. See if they tighten things up a little bit at the line of scrimmage. No more prevent. What you want to do is stop them from getting that yard. And the Marauders of Central State, they want to talk about it on that 4th and 1.
Here's the trick for Tuskegee, Charles. They want to bring the defense into a tight gap formation, but what you don't want to have is a running play that gets to that 2nd level.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can see something pop with all that pressure trying to stop that short game.
Yeah. It's like a chess match. I was talking to O.C. Williams about it, and I was, obviously talking about he likes to press defensively to make the offense respond to him. But you're right. You make the wrong move here, and you get 8, and you let them get to that 2nd level because you played it tighter here. It works to your disadvantage when you try to play that based upon that scenario. That's what's so fascinating about this game of football. You see one play, and an adjustment is made, and you likely won't see it again. And if you do see it, it comes to your detriment when it does. So 4th and less than a yard for the Marauders of Central State. They'll pump it out in the flats, catch made there. They'll have enough for a first down. To your point, Mark, defensively, the idea is we don't care if you get the first. We're not going to let you get behind us and get 6.
This is one of those points in the game where it's do your job. Do not try to overplay anything. Keep it in front of you, as you've mentioned. Make solid tackles. And so far, Tuskegee's defense, like Central State, by the way, this has been a very crisp tackling game.
Sure. Yeah, you made that reference about Central State early on, and we're starting to see it from that defense of Tuskegee now. Must have been a flag on that play far side. Oh, boy. Okay. So TU guilty of an illegal substitution on that play. So that'll push the Marauders inside of the 30-yard line, or just outside of the 30, on the 4:43 remaining. And you're getting right where you are last year, the game within the game. You sense that you're okay in terms of the win. Can you hold them out of the end zone now? That will be a big momentum push for TU if they can do that going into next weekend's ball game against Jackson State. So Caldwell going to clear the backfield out now. He'll be back there alone with 3 receivers at the bottom of his screen to the right and 2 up top. He will take the snap, looks to his left, fires at the corner, got a man there skirting the sidelines, catching out of bounds. Grab was made. That number looks like the catch was made at the sideline by Quentin Johnson. So Johnson with the catch. That's a first down for Central State.
James Horsey on the reception for the Marauders.
Correction on that. That was Bossy coming out of the backfield with that catch for the first down. So first in from the 20 for Central State. We're at 3:40 remaining. On the ground, right side. Slicing it to the 18-yard line. Howlett over there trying to get a check on it. It's Bossy on the run right side. Tuskegee Queen and king in the court, I believe. That's coming right down here below us inside of Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium. Shades of homecoming. Start of the new year always brings so many elements of that student experience. Caldwell steps in between the defenders, fires, had that one batted as he was on the run right side and just putting your arms up and knocking it down out of the air. Good defensive work there by Kawan Kimber, the linebacker. You called Kawan's number a few moments ago. Seems to be okay on that pursuit in the block.
2 more flags down on the field.
Oh, boy.
One at the 22 and another one at the 25. So we'll sort this out under 3 minutes remaining.
Well, we've been without a hold for the last 5 minutes, so surely we got one coming in our future here. On cue, so the Marauders guilty of the hold there. That'll push him back. Referees getting in a lot of work tonight here as well. A lot of flags thrown in this football game, mostly against Central State. So Caldwell clears the backfield once again, stands alone in the shotgun. He'll take a snap. Here comes the pressure. They got him out of the jersey, but he eludes. Rose right side, fires at man in stride, laying out with a beautiful catch there near the 13-yard line. Good grab there for Central State. On the receiving end was Justin Sellers again.
Excellent pursuit by Tuskegee on that last defensive surge, but quarterback for Central State did an excellent job of rolling, finding a player deep downfield for the diving completion right at the 13-yard line. So Central State not going down without a last-minute fight. We're approaching the 2-minute point of this ball game.
I like your emphasis on the dive. It wasn't just a dive. It was a diving catch. Good job by Sellers on that one. Got enough to make it a 3rd down and about 2. Ball fake. Pressure. Caldwell fires. Had it batted at the line of scrimmage. It's loose.
His hand was not moving forward. That's a fumble.
Back the other way. Tuskegee going to have an easy 6 here. Trying to make out that number. I believe that's Kimber. Yeah. Juan Kimber picked it up and carried it the distance for Tuskegee. Yeah. The lights flashing here inside of Abbott Memorial as Kimber, and going forward on that pass was Campbell Caldwell, and as you referenced, had it hit on the arm, and it was loose on the turf, and Kawan picked it up. Not a jersey in sight from the offense to stop him, and he scores.
It was really give credit to Tuskegee for carrying out the play. Once the ball was on the ground, they didn't stop to ask questions whether it was an incomplete pass or not. Scoop and score.
Yeah.
For the Golden Tigers.
The referee was just signaling the very thing you were talking about, that he was just going forward with the pass. So Kimber returns it for the touchdown. And now Ryan on with the point after. Pushes that through, and Tuskegee gets another point bonus measure there to extend their lead over the Marauders of Central State. And the light show begins here inside of Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium. After that touchdown and point after, TU with a 34-0 lead over the Marauders of Central State. And just that quickly, we were talking about whether the defense could hold them out and keep the Marauders scoreless, and indeed they do.
The game was sitting there for the taking. Once Tuskegee scored on that long touchdown play, you could feel Central State just deflated. The air just went out of the balloon. Tuskegee took advantage, and on the turnover, they just sealed the deal. So give credit to Tuskegee for seizing this game.
Yeah, because it was out there for anybody to take it. They lock it up with Kimber on the return of that fumble, and he will make it 34-0 after his return and the kick by Ryan.
And for those just tuning in, it was 10-0 at the half. Tuskegee with 24 unanswered points in the second half has turned what was a very sluggish game in the first half into a 34-zip blowout.
So the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee in their first conference ball game of the season. First ball game under the lights here at Tuskegee University in the history of the school. And it's going to be a good night for TU overall. Just 1:44 remaining against the Marauders of Central State.
I would imagine that head coach Aaron James is still going to feel that he has some things he wants to work on in the off week.
Sure.
As you mentioned, the slow starts have got to be fixed. But he's got to be encouraged by the play of Raekwon Beal in the second half. And let's give credit to the defense for holding what is a very decent offense scoreless.
Indeed. One of the concerns of O.C. Williams was that running back duo for them, Abassi and Young, and they contained them. And he even expressed some concerns with the quarterback. Not sure if he was referencing Hill or Campbell Caldwell when he was making the comments to me during the course of the week, but he just put it simply, we just got to kill the head of the snake.
We've got a lot of new faces at linebacking for Tuskegee, and they're getting some early answers in the season on what they're going to be playing like later on.
I think as you referenced the coach Aaron James and questioning what they really need to focus on in terms of the week ahead, I would suspect that some of the concern is going to be about the running game, as we have a little bit of an infraction over on the far side of the field as the frustrations of Central State start to flare. But somebody needs to tell that young man, if you're going to start something like that, you don't want to do it on the opposition's side when you're there alone.
Well, you also don't want to start it with 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining. You want to start it in the first quarter.
Sure. We'll break that up, though, and Tuskegee on its way to a 2-0 start in this 2025 season. Contrast to how they started last year, it's got to be a good feeling for them coming off the first two with a win. Minute 38 remains. So just listening to the PA announcer, Mark, we were talking a little bit about this in terms of how this school handles or will be handling parking situations going forward as the Marauders run it up the middle with no real gain there. Just hearing the PA announcer saying that people gather in front of Logan Hall, which a lot of people may not know where that is, but it's the Central Athletics facility or building here on campus. And then they'll be shuttled to their places where their cars are parked. And one of the places over at the high school, Booker T. Washington High School, is where they're putting a lot of the cars. So it's
good practice run for homecoming.
Sure.
Because I would imagine that there will be 4 times as many people here in late October, early November.
Yeah, indeed it will. And just seeing it from last year, it was just the city itself, infrastructure-wise, is just not built for that many people at one time. So the challenge for Dr. Brown and the rest of his administrative staff is just to come up with a plan to be able to have people enjoy homecoming and try to eliminate some of the traffic for getting out. Because we know at homecoming last year, it took us an hour and a half to get from the stadium just to the outskirts of town. But you work with what you have and you do the best you can.
True.
And Tuskegee has done a good job tonight. Not really the best that they have to offer, but they put up 34 points against the Marauders of Central State in this ball game. And that looks like that's going to be enough for them to shut it out at 34-0 over this SIAC school from Wilberforce. Players making it off to the field. I don't think they really have to run another play here.
They're lining up for the post-game handshake.
Yeah. And Tuskegee celebrating here against the Marauders of Central State. 34-0 win for TU. That'll be some nice momentum as they start looking at next week's opponent. And there it is, the final score now, 34-0 over Central State. So, 6-game win streak for the Golden Tigers. That continues with the win. Their record against Central State now goes to 11-1. And Central State, 6 losses in a row for them with the defeat by the Golden Tigers this evening. Take a break, come back with some final thoughts here on GTSN.
C-SPY is a prestigious scholarship, a world-class leadership training program, and a ticket to a rewarding career as an officer in the United States Coast Guard. C-SPY is an opportunity for students attending minority-serving institutions that goes beyond paying for 2 years of tuition and other college expenses. Once accepted, you'll be a member of the Coast Guard, earning a full-time salary, plus medical benefits and a housing allowance. While continuing your full-time studies, you'll get to learn about life in the Coast Guard firsthand. You'll quickly find that the Coast Guard is unique from the other military branches. It's a different kind of service, with crews of like-minded people who perform life-saving missions every day and protect our environment and communities. If you're ready to step up as a leader and help us make the world a better place, then visit gocoastguard.com/CSPI to learn more or talk to a recruiter.
University, first ball game ever under the lights for Tuskegee University. And the Golden Tigers shine tonight with a 34-0 win over the Marauders of Central State.
Decisive win. Tuskegee gets his offense on track, and we'll definitely look forward to seeing how this team with a 2-0 record matches up against a SWAC opponent in Jackson State. It'll be interesting to see the off week and the corrections that Tuskegee wants to make on its offense, but its defense is money.
Sure. Yeah. Tonight, it definitely centered around that solid defensive play. But we saw kind of a carbon copy of what we saw against Winston-Salem. Speaking of Raquan Bill, the quarterback for Tuskegee, started out slow in this ball game, but came alive in that second half.
Absolutely did. And it's nice to see Tuskegee have some bright moments with the running game and the passing game as well.
So the Golden Tigers win at 34-0 over Central State. They turn their attention now to FCF's opponent, the Tigers of Jackson State. And we'll be there in Jackson, Mississippi for the coverage for you on GTSN. That's a 2 o'clock start in Mississippi for that contest. And we'll have all the coverage for you there. Reminder that we got volleyball action on the network on Monday night from Chappie James as Tuskegee host Stillman in volleyball action. And we'll be back next weekend with our coverage, starting with the pregame show. Charles McNeil hosting that. I want to thank President Dr. Mark Brown, Athletics Director Reginald Ruffin, his incredible staff for their continual work on putting on a great show here tonight for the first time ever ball game at night at Tuskegee. And certainly special thanks to Jordan Benson, the Sports Information Director at Tuskegee University. Just an outstanding set of notes for this ball game. Had a chance to just read them cover to cover, and just outstanding element for prepping for these contests. So great, special thanks for Jordan. And Mark, to you as usual for your fine coverage of Tuskegee football.
Always a blast working with you. Looking forward to next week.
Yeah, we were talking about our pregame host, Charles McNeil, coming in or headed back to the States from Hawaii. You just got here in time for the broadcast today. Had your little jaunt down to Florida. Actually, I understand you got some down there as well.
Got a little tennis in. Ready to get some rest now.
I know you are. Thanks for your coverage, brother. We're back here again on Saturday from Jackson, Mississippi. Make sure you make your plans to join us then. Then special thanks to our production crew here at Golden Tiger Sports Network. Spot on work in our audio coverage here tonight. That'll do it for our coverage. Charles Ward saying thanks so much for joining us. Tuskegee wins it 34-0 over the Marauders of Central State. This has been a production of the Golden Tiger Sports Network.